Here we go, man.
Word, man.
How's it going, Dakota?
Started. Not too bad, bro. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man.
Get it going as tradition.
Yeah, just doing another podcast, It's always fun. This is like the highlight of my week usually.
It's just another excuse to have some beers at 2 in the afternoon. It's Sunday, so.
Yeah, Sunday drinking. Who cares?
Yeah, there's no specific time to drink beer on Sunday.
No. Have you ever heard of breakfast beers? Yeah,
dude, look at this gut. Do you think I don't know about breakfast beers?
Yeah,
I know about breakfast
just
beers.
before you eat.
No,
That's the rule.
I'm a professional. No, professional beer drinkers. That's actually a real fucking thing.
Oh yeah,
Like drinking contests and shit.
Andre the Giant. 117 beers,
the
dude.
records that dude like. What's crazy is like that might be off. It could be short. It could be higher. But like the numbers that dude was putting down for beers is like.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Have you seen him like holding like a regular mug of beer and how small it looks in his hand because he was a monster?
Yeah, dude. Just seeing his hand next to other people's hands, it's like, oh my God. He'd like put his hand on somebody's shoulder. It's like bigger than their face.
Right.
It's like, Jesus.
It's same thing with like any sports athletes. Like, have you ever stood like a basketball player? They wear like size 18 shoes and shit. It's like some of us struggle. Like people that wear 13 sometimes struggle to find shoes.
Yeah.
Fucking 18. That's like this big.
You just have to order your shoes no matter what.
Well, they're mostly endorsed, so they get them for free anyways. But
yeah, Well, people that are that tall that aren't on a basketball team that pays for their shoes, like.
Do you know how much that probably fucking costs to get a custom pair of shoes made that big?
There's probably a website out there that has shoes for people who are too tall.
Well, think about it. Like a normal pair of Nikes, like a regular size pair of Nikes is not cheap.
Yeah.
So it's like tell Nike to custom make you a size 20.
Right. Hey, just 1 second. I gotta get that mic a little closer to you.
Okay.
All right, it should be a little better.
All right, word, how's this?
So, anyways, you have been doing some shit since you were last on here. It was a long time ago. You don't even have a video episode.
Do not have a video episode, and this is the first time being in here doing the episode as well.
It's number 42.
What? This is episode 42?
Yeah.
Okay. What episode? Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
What episode number was mine? It was pretty damn early, I think.
Shit, I don't know. We could look it up right now.
Let's figure that out because that was
I think you were like episode 10 or some shit like that. Like you were like way early. We were still doing it in the movie theater.
Yep.
Let's see.
But yes, you are correct. I have definitely been doing some shit.
So, did you start Rattlesnake Suitcase, or did somebody else start it and you got recruited?
So, my buddies Jared and Zach, who are in the band with me, they were in a rock and roll band before this called Moons, Birds, and Monsters.
Yeah.
I've known Zach since I was actually in high school. I've known him for quite some time. I know he's been doing solo gigs. He does acoustic performances. Like he's like a solo artist as well.
Yeah.
I believe I saw Jared and Zach at I think it might have been the Megadeth show when Lamb of God was here with them and stuff. All drunk in the pit, and I think I was just play some rock and roll. And I think the story is I shot him a text, or we messaged each other on Facebook. It was like, let's jam some rock and roll. And the band's not even a year old, and a lot of shit has happened with that band already. It's been really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some stuff. I saw you were on 98 KUPD.
Yeah.
They had like a little contest for Play-Doh.
What a fucking time that is. It's the chance to enter your music on the radio and get absolutely destroyed and roasted by these motherfuckers on the radio.
Yeah.
No, it's a good time. Like I was telling you before we started rolling, Rattlesnake is definitely a more humorous, not take ourselves so serious type of band.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not making fun of us more than we make fun of us.
It's like satire almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we sent because like you have to be one of the first 30 bands to submit your track to the radio station's email, I think it is. Jared submitted it, and we sent up an email just saying like, what's up, home boogers? Like we're the newest, slitheriest rock and roll band from Arizona. Like, you're not gonna make fun of us more than we make fun of us, so enjoy our trash and just like fucking it's just the whole humorous
some sarcastic
thing.
like bullshit.
Well, and then we actually ended up, so the top 5 people, what happens is they go through 30 bands, 2 different days. The top 5 bands progress to the finals, and then they go play an impromptu show at like Copper Blues. Like this is my second time doing Play-Doh. I've done it with another band. The first time with the other band, we did make it to the finals, and it was at Copper Blues downtown. This one, it was at Copper Blues at Desert Ridge. And so if you make it to the top 5, you have to like be ready to go play a 2-song gig in front of the radio station crew that roasted your band.
Yeah.
We actually knocked the microphone. We actually we made it to the top 5, and we got caught drinking parking lot beers by the radio dude, Holmberg, from Morning Sickness. He caught us drinking beers in the parking lot before we went on and played.
Well, was that not allowed?
We were in a Target parking lot at Desert Ridge. I don't know if it was allowed or not. Probably
no,
not.
I mean, did it disqualify you or something?
Oh, no. It was just funny because he walks up to us and he's like, "Which band are you guys?" And I was just like, "Rattlesnake Suitcase." He's like, "That's what he kind of figured." He was like, "That or another band." And because it's a whole roast session, as we're setting up our gear on stage, he was like, "I found these guys in the parking lot drinking beer out of their wives' cars, like just talking shit." So no, we didn't get disqualified or anything, but
nice. It
was a fun time. But radio's radio, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not the largest fan of radio stuff just because
I honestly biased. I don't really like Holmberg's show, to be honest. But
what's funny
I think it's cool that you guys like submitted something and got on the radio and like they have the whole competition. Sure. You and fucking Alliance. I know those dudes too. I had Scotty and Isaiah on here, and
they are
they got in there too.
The dudes and lady in Alliance, because their bass player is a female. The most incredible people. Like, they are the nicest talent. They fucking shred.
Yeah.
They throw down. They actually won Play-Doh last year.
Oh, really?
So the Holmberg, well, not now, because I think the new band's probably recording the new theme song. But the Holmberg theme song for the last year has been Alliance on the radio every single morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, they didn't tell me.
I mean, to be fair, those dudes have been grinding so hard and have done so much. Like, they have a lot to be proud of, and that was last year, and since then they've done so much. So.
Oh yeah.
But what's interesting about my 2 Play-Doh times, both times in Play-Doh have been in bands that were like not serious bands. The first band was a band called Sluts These Days, STD for short. There's like certain criteria, I believe, when it comes to the Play-Doh contest. I think they have to listen to like 60 seconds of your song before turning it off and like shitting on you.
Yeah.
Sluts These Days, I didn't write the song, but I performed it to the radio crew because we made it to the top 5. It was actually a song, and it's still on Spotify. It was a song written about KUPD, and it was 62 seconds long. So they had to hear the entire thing, and it was just a song stereotyping everything that's on KUPD, and it's fucking hilarious. And we performed it to Holmberg, and it was a fucking hilarious time. So both times I've made it to the top 5, which has been super cool.
Yeah.
But it's been bands that have just roasted the radio first. And I love that because I haven't entered like a serious thing into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they probably always look for at least one that's like kind of goofy, you know?
Well, the band that won this year was a really interesting, but man, they killed it live. It was I think they're called Mike and the Maltovs.
Yeah. I've heard of them.
It's in a nutshell, it's like country punk, it's like rockabilly country punk, but like upbeat shit. They won, and it was fucking pretty badass. I wasn't expecting, because every band that made it to the finals this year was so different sounding.
Yeah.
Like, you had Alliance, and then you had our goofy asses that went up there with sailor hats and shit.
I can get down with some psychobilly, dude. Psychobilly's dope.
Have you ever been to those shows?
I haven't, but I bet they're a riot.
Dude, they're fucking sick. Like, so back in high school, I used to like, I was really into like horror punk and like the punk scene before I got into the metal scene out here. And like you'll see people that dress like straight greasers and like with like poodle skirts, and like the chicks have like their hair done up. Like it's the coolest thing ever. And they go out there and like swing dance and shit with each other. It's so sick.
Well, they do the same shit with like metal shows, you know. You see chicks dress up as like these goth, like,
except it's usually ugly, sweaty, bearded guys.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that too.
Usually. Unless it's like a black metal show. Something really like
That's true.
Lame.
Something really fucking lame. No, I'm okay with the sweaty, bearded, ugly dudes because I'm one of those. Yeah. So, you know, it's part of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's like most of my guests, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, yeah, I get it.
Hey, look, why do you think AMAYA fucking carries up to like a 4X? We know who's listening to us. Our boys don't skip meals. You got to have the big boy shirts. As a fellow big boy, because, I mean, if you look at AMAYA, there's not really a small dude in AMAYA. Everybody in that fucking band eats a lot. When we started like getting merch and stuff made, we were talking about like smalls and shit. And I like, why the fuck would we sell smalls?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, damn good and well, none of our friends are smalls. We're not smalls.
Maybe order 2 smalls for the kids.
Like,
for the kids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But wow, because like after being somebody that goes to a lot of shows and I love buying merch, like I love supporting bands and buying just sick fucking shirts. It's either they only have like 3 mediums left of the coolest shirt design, or they have like all 4X's and like nothing in between. And all the big boy sizes usually go first.
Yeah.
Because all of us metalheads like to drink beer and we're bigger dudes. So you get to you fucking wait in line for fucking like 30 minutes, depending on how big the fucking band is. Sorry, dude, we only have a small. Cool.
Like,
thanks.
I can't give you money now. Like,
I mean, hey, dude, merch is getting fucking expensive too, but I mean, I understand why. I mean, touring is fucking expensive. So
everything is getting expensive.
I mean, you seeing fucking $40 shirts and shit. Support them though.
Even the fucking wholesale shirts are getting more expensive, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, you don't even make as much profit.
Bro, you can't go to the 99-cent store and find something that's actually 99 cents. It's not like a candy bar or something.
Yeah.
They need to change the fucking name of that store.
Yeah, the name needs to change. Like you can't stay in business selling everything for $1. We all know that.
Well, that and nothing in there is $1 anymore.
Well, that's we know why though.
Right.
There's no way you can run a store where everything costs $1. It's impossible. We know that by now. Make it the $1.99 store.
Or just the bargain store or something. Like, don't put a price on it because you know how many $5 things are in that store? It's like it's almost worth just dealing with Walmart people and just going to Walmart, which I fucking hate Walmart. Hate Walmart so much.
Yeah, it's one of those places. Every time I walk in there, like I feel disappointed every single time, no matter what. Like
just disappointment.
I'm walking out like, why did I go here,
dude? I mean, like, there's some things that you simply just can't. I love how this went from like Rattlesnake getting caught drinking beer to we're talking about I fucking hate Walmart.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't matter.
No, I shooting the shit, man. No, like there's some things that like you just cannot beat Walmart at, like some prices on certain shit.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like going to fucking war to deal with that place, dude. However, have you ever shopped at Walmart at like 7 a.m?
No.
Best thing ever.
Why?
Because for one,
it's just empty.
It's all the old people. No, everybody's usually at work, but it's all the old, like, retired people that are slow as fuck. So, like, not slow, like walking, not like that slow.
Is it a good thing?
Yes, because I'm the youngest and fastest person in that store, and I'm getting my shit and getting the fuck out of there. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm zooming past motherfuckers in that store at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Pleasant. Walmart on, like, a Sunday at, like, 3 p.m, you can absolutely go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I don't like fries on Wednesdays. Because it's like the senior discount day. Okay. So it's like all the normal crowd and a bunch of old people. And then you're like trying to push the cart around and dude, I lose it, man.
Like, have you ever been to like a signature fries, like a big one?
Oh yeah. The fries signatures.
Those are sick.
They have like a fucking bar.
They have a bar. They have a sushi bar, like fresh sushi. Like that signature
almost
fries?
All of them have sushi now.
That's true.
Almost every fries has sushi.
And you know
now.
what? I'm not like a sushi person, but all of my fucking friends are. And I've never really heard anybody say like fried sushi is trash. Like apparently it's pretty okay.
It's all right.
Like, I mean,
it's not going to be
grocery store.
Yeah,
sushi,
it's not going to be gourmet sushi. They have all the like the normal,
right?
California roll, spicy tuna,
sure.
like regular generic bullshit. But
I
if
mean,
you want sushi, like
it's there and it's usually pretty fresh from what I hear.
It doesn't taste like shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, I do love some fucking Chinese food and like Asian food and stuff like that though. I can't do raw like fish and shit like that.
I mean, some of it's not raw.
No, there are definitely cooked ones, but for me,
you can't do like a raw salmon, like sashimi thing.
Well, disclaimer.
Oh, hold on, I gotta fix your mic real quick.
Shit keeps falling. This is gonna be a good episode. There's gonna be so many burps and fucking.
That's beer, dude. That's beer. You burp when you drink beer, or whatever.
I feel like this is going good. This feels natural. This is also the difference. When we first did our first episode, we knew each other, but not like we hadn't hung out like a lot, I don't think.
Yeah, since then we've had a few house shows. Definitely I've seen you at some shows.
Yeah,
drink some parking lot beers together. Yeah, we got a little bit more camaraderie growing.
Sure. No, what were we talking about? Sushi, I think we were talking about. Oh, no, disclaimer. For me, if I ever say I don't like something, it's typically because it's a texture problem. I'm a texture dude. So it's like there's a lot of things that I like the flavor of, but the texture is just god awful. Now, there's one thing that the texture and the taste is terrible, like tomatoes, ass.
I've noticed that like there's like a percentage of people that just can't handle tomatoes. Like for some reason, either you like them and you're like, oh yeah, tomatoes are great, they taste good, and then some people are like, they taste like dirt. And like there's something in our genes like where some people, and I think it's like probably like a fifth of the population. It's like not a small number.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people who are like, tomatoes are trash.
But then there's also motherfuckers that will like salt a tomato and eat it like an apple.
I do that.
Oh, bro.
I love tomatoes. Like they taste delicious. Like I don't understand how, like, dude, I'll tell you a story. One day we were actually touring with Condemned Till Dawn.
Okay.
So it was Argonaut and Condemned, and we went out to Texas. And like right when we got to Texas, we stopped at like a Denny's or something. And
as you do.
Yeah, and we ate some food after we checked in to the garbage ass hotel or whatever. We ate at the Denny's that was in the parking lot.
This is the Red Roof Inn Denny's.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And this was in San Diego, but not important.
Sure.
But we started talking about what we're ordering, and Dan said like no tomatoes, and of course we just jump on and start getting him shit like, what's wrong with tomatoes? Like, and he's like, they taste like dirt water. We were like, what the fuck did you just say? Tomatoes taste like dirt water? Like,
I've never heard that one.
Like, he's like, yeah, dude, it tastes like I'm just putting dirt in my mouth. I was like, we just gave him so much shit for the rest of the trip.
Never heard of the dirt water comparison.
But it's like, I've heard of that, like, since then, I've heard of people saying like, yeah, tomatoes kind of just taste like dirt. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
and it's like, I don't taste that. So
okay, so one of the things for me is like, say you're going to bite into something that you're expecting a certain texture of, and then all of a sudden there's a random texture that you have no idea what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
That I don't, because it could be a bone, it could be a fucking...
Bones are okay. You can eat bones.
You can. I probably don't want
Your teeth are probably harder. You could just chew them.
Probably harder. Yeah, I guess you'll find out once you get into it.
I mean, we used to chew on bones.
Well, I think I'll skip on the bones. Look, dental care and health care is way too expensive to be chewing on fucking bones right now, dude.
Actually, it'll probably help your teeth, clean your teeth. I think the reason our teeth rot is because we don't chew on bones anymore.
Yeah,
we just eat soft garbage food like McDonald's, so our teeth rot out,
dude. Well, so speaking of like the dirt water thing, I went, me and some buddies went, like, had an impromptu, like, trip to San Diego.
Yeah.
Just wanted to go to the beach.
Sure.
We went to this little, like, cafe place to just grab a beer before walking down to the pier. And, like, I was like, hey, can I get, like, a beer and then, like, a water? Just because we've been walking around all day. And, like, their default was cucumber water. And I'm like... That tastes like motherfucking dirt water.
You have any normal water?
Yeah, like I understand that it's there for people that do enjoy that.
Yeah, fucking California, dude.
I could see the refreshingness of it, but like if I want water, I just want some fucking water.
That's California.
Yeah, but
I'm the same way with cucumbers though. I'll eat those motherfuckers like apples. Like, I don't mind.
I feel like I understand the cucumber thing a lot more than tomato thing because I want to eat cucumbers because that shit's gross to me still. but I hear they're very refreshing and very good for you.
I think they're related to tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. Well, then fuck them then.
I could just be making that up, but I think they're related.
Well, I feel like at some point
they kind of look similar when you cut them in half.
One's like long and dick shaped, and one looks like
I know what the shapes of.
I was gonna call a homie out that has fucking huge nuts. Looks like fucking homie's nuts, but I'm not gonna do that to him on this. Oh man, look. So I mean, you'll get a hint here because it's somebody obviously in one of my bands, but
it's like two very different objects.
Yeah, one looks like a dick and one looks like a ball. Like, so I don't think they're related at all. But the gist of this is like, if I want water, you could at least be like with or without.
No, they just give you the cucumbers.
Just the cucumber water.
They're Californians. They just assume you want the fancier water.
I'm surprised they didn't charge me for the cucumber water.
Right?
Like,
it didn't cost anything? It was free?
Maybe I didn't look because I was just like, this is...
It's probably $1. Cucumber slice, $1.
No choice. Like, if you're coming here, you're fucking buying something, dude. Like, I don't care how thirsty you are. Dude, that state is a really pretty state. But goddamn,
dude, there's a reason that all the billionaires live there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the best place in the world.
I mean,
it's so nice there.
You get shit there that you don't get anywhere else. It's
you can get everything there. Everything you could imagine is in California.
It's honestly a weird culture shock there.
Yeah.
Like
the culture has been changing, I think.
Right. I mean, well, Hollywood in the 70s versus Hollywood now is absolutely a different place. But I mean, it's like New Orleans. It's like that's a culture shock for people.
I'd love to visit there, dude. I've never been there.
I'm from Louisiana.
I like to see different cultures. I like to just walk around and just like observe, like, whoa, these people are wild.
Vegas, New Orleans, Hollywood, those are the places.
Vegas is strange because that's like the ultimate melting pot.
Everything.
It is the like, theme park for adults. It's like the place where
it's a zoo, dude.
Yeah, it's a zoo, but it's zoo. Like everyone in the world knows about Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's
because like some of the biggest event, like even outside of being a degenerate and just getting fucked up there and gambling your life away.
You can do that most places now.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Vegas to do that shit.
You can do that in Arizona right here.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You can walk around Vegas with a backpack full of beer and just get shithoused and nobody's even batting an eye. I mean, like...
Backpack, dude. There's CVS's everywhere. Whenever I'm out, I just walk into the next CVS and grab another tall can.
Nah, dude. I got a backpack cooler.
A backpack's not a bad idea, because then if you buy souvenirs or some shit, you could like toss in the backpack.
And then you have a 12-pack on you at all times, dude. It's sick.
12-pack.
But, I mean, some of the biggest events in music and like racing, like car stuff, that's a whole nother fucking world of shit.
Dude, I just went to Vegas recently. Like last weekend. I was in Vegas.
Word.
And the weekend before that was F1.
Yeah.
And dude, it is a nightmare. It is a shit show.
I bet.
They fucked up that city. Well, it's so bad. And they got a 10-year contract.
F1 did?
They're going to do that every single year for the next 10 years. I think that contract is going to fall apart before then. I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, because you have to do a lot to be able to fucking let that shit happen. Like,
well, yeah, it's like 4 months worth of work. Like set up and tear down, and then the other like 8 months of the year is okay, but then like during the holidays they fuck it up, or like right before the holidays.
But that's a big problem because Vegas is such a tourist attraction. Mm-hmm. Taking that away for 4 months is such a fucking loss for that city, and that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Every time I was in an Uber in Vegas, like with me and my girlfriend, we would ask the Uber questions, just shooting the shit, and I would always bring up F1. And every time their face would just be like, ugh, fuck.
Yeah, dude, because like obviously if you're into like the Formula One racing, which by the way,
no Americans are.
Well, I will say like the technology and like the shit that goes into those cars is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a cool sport.
Action sports and shit like that I've always loved stuff like that, but I've been more on like dirt bikes and skateboarding and shit like that. What I like, I think the car stuff is sick, but if you're into it, you're gonna have a great time. But with Vegas being what it is,
like go build an F1 track in the desert.
Absolutely.
You can drive 5 miles to get to the F1 track.
Absolutely.
Make shuttles.
Yep.
That's even more jobs.
I mean, but you also, it's a double-edged sword because there's a novelty of the strip being the strip, but like you said, America's not the country for that.
Well, the strip is supposed to be pedestrian friendly.
Right.
Dude,
drunk people.
It was hard to walk around Vegas, like with all the grandstands and stuff, and like all the roadways that were blocked and sidewalks that were blocked. You had to like walk like extra couple miles to get places, and like it just looks like shit.
Yeah.
Because there's just scaffolding everywhere.
Yeah, the city's gonna lose a lot of revenue because of that shit. But I mean, it'll make up for it though.
Crazy is the Bellagio wanted the grandstands in front of their hotel in front of the fountain. They chopped all the trees down and built the grandstands there. They didn't take the trees out and move them. They chopped them all down, killed them, and then built stands on top of them. Damn. Blocked all the fountain. You can't even walk that way anymore. You have to go around the Bellagio. So you can't walk by the fountain anymore. It's totally blocked off.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I mean, that's like one of the things I wanted to see. I wanted to watch the fucking fountain. Yeah. And now you have to go all the way up to the Bellagio like lobby and then walk down their little garden path to go look at the fountain.
It's one of those things that sure they're going to lose revenue in certain ways, but the amount of people that are going to fly into that city for that event is going to like.
And the thing is like a ticket with the like hotel package stay is like $15,000. So you like who's flying? Who's doing that? Who's buying those tickets and staying in Vegas? Like,
dude,
not everybody.
$15,000 would literally change my entire life.
Yeah,
like completely. That's a fucking down payment on a fucking house almost. Like, and there's people that are like, here's 15,000. Let me get on my fucking jet and go watch some loud cars.
In euros,
dude,
because they don't use dollars. Fuck that.
Yeah, why would you? Why would you? Man, it's just crazy the difference between like 15,000 to that level of person to like the average person.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, it's crazy, man.
Disposable incomes are nuts.
One day.
Can't relate. Being in a band ain't like that.
Nope. Not at all. You gotta like get viral. You gotta do something crazy and go viral and like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got to be good, though, because the bad viral doesn't last very long.
No. Controversy. See, I feel like everything on the internet has like, to a degree, has a shelf life of like 48 hours max. Oh, this person fucking killed this person? Damn, that's crazy. Oh my God. Did you see the new beer that came out?
Yeah, I think it depends on the next thing.
The attention span is just like nothing, which, I mean, everybody's guilty of it, including... We all digest this terrible shit on the daily, so it's
Yeah, I've just been watching a lot of the fucking foreign affairs, so it's like anything else. Like I'm trying to pay attention to it, but it's like all the shit I'm seeing is just like like all this shit about Israel and
of course we're sitting here
World
bitching.
War III starting.
We're sitting here bitching about like. Damn, F1 fucked up our strip. We can't get drunk.
I would rather bitch about that.
Exactly. That's like, we're sitting here like fucking in America, like, damn, dude, F1 fucking cars fucking up my view of the fucking Bellagio fountains. And it's like, and then you bring that up. It's like, yeah, our problems ain't shit comparatively.
Yeah, I wish they had our problems.
Absolutely. Like, I wish Formula One cars were their issues.
That would be great if like, the Gaza Strip had a Bellagio fountain that everyone wanted to go see. But that's not going to happen,
Jesus
dude.
Christ. Oh, man.
But yeah, that's another subject. We don't have to get into that.
We're not
shit.
I don't do the last thing I do is fucking politics and religion.
Well, we don't have to talk about either. But
I mean, I have a really easy, straightforward opinion about both of them. I don't fucking involve myself with them.
Yeah.
That's
unfortunately they will involve themselves with you.
Yeah.
So it's like I like to know the game that everyone's trying to play.
I just wish there could be a point in time, and I'm not even like a fucking hippie or like, oh my God, Earth fucking shit, this, that, or any of the other. Like, I just wish at one point everybody could just be like cool for a second. Like,
sorry, that's funny.
No, I mean, like,
everyone could just be
just be cool for a second.
I have several
dude.
bosses that aren't even cool, dude.
Yeah, dude. So. Like, same. I work in an office with people that are not cool, but like, I wish just for like 24 hours,
right?
Nobody had beef with each other. Like,
I like Joe Rogan's theory. Everyone should just do MDMA at the same time.
Yeah, everybody does ecstasy at the same fucking time.
And
dude.
Everyone's like, oh, like I get it. Like everything is like everyone isn't so bad. Like,
hey, and if this conversation gets too out of hand, we don't have to put this one in here about the Bellagio fountain and fucking.
Nah, we didn't say anything bad.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Like maybe people might think it's disrespectful to laugh at a situation like that, but like,
well, it's real as fuck though, because like America does have some absolutely just disgusting and fucked situations, like the homeless problem, the fucking healthcare situation and shit like that.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, come on, it's not even comparable.
It's hard to compare it because
you can't.
Like, it is. Like all of this situation in America is like on the precipice of like economic collapse. Like we're in such a crazy spot right now. Like
everybody's struggling.
There's so many unprecedented records financially that are happening right now. And it could be fucking tomorrow.
Right.
Like there's so many things that could just be fucked up forever. Like our infrastructure is just so fragile, dude. Yeah. One power station goes out, like,
yeah.
Ooh,
I saw a video the other day because like sometimes I get into these situations where I'll like start looking into conspiracy theories. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a theory until it's not. Conspiracies are real.
Theories
absolutely. Just have to be proved.
Well, the thing is when they're so close to being proved without actually being able to like bring shit to the actual forefront.
Yeah. Because
some of this shit's fucking deep, dude. But like, I'll sit there and start watching conspiracy theories, and there was a video I watched, and it was like, that was the video I watched. No, how
do you spell that?
UGHUGHHHH. Yeah. Burps. I'm good at burping. I recorded a burp on a Rattlesnake EP. It's out. I think the EP ends with my burp.
It's good to know.
Yeah. That's a sneak peek right there. I'll show you later.
Yeah, that's Dakota, guys.
So conspiracy theory it was like one of the videos I saw was America's like, so we have our money in banks. That's only so real. Like there's not enough cash to match how much money is in America's banks.
Yeah, definitely not.
So the video I was watching was like, say that shit goes down and your card stops working. Now everybody's card stops working.
Yeah.
Okay, so your card stops working, everybody goes to withdraw all their money. It's not going to happen. That alone, I feel like would just fucking collapse the entirety of this fucking country.
Yeah. Like, imagine, and also, speaking of collapsing the country, right. What happens if gas can't get to the gas stations? All of a sudden, nobody gets gas.
I mean, that's fucking up. Well, yeah, correct.
That's like, everything.
I work in logistics. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
There's no gasoline. There's no logistics.
The country stops.
Back to horses.
That'd be sick, dude. That would be fucking... Dude, if I ever saw somebody roll up on something...
Horses,
like,
dude.
Imagine seeing, like, some like gang activity. Somebody rolling up on a horse, jumping out and fucking fighting somebody.
Back
That'd be
1805.
Sick, that'd be badass, dude. We need to have, like, full-on duels now. I think we should go back to that time.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
I love it. Real quick, though. New Orleans. I know we talked about it for a second.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisiana. I was born there.
How long did you live there?
God, you lose track of timelines when you're that young.
Well, like what grade did you move?
It was probably like right before like middle school, I would say.
Okay, I was elementary school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elementary
so
school.
You're just
probably.
A kid in Louisiana?
Yeah. That's where I was born. I was born in Shreveport, which is more up north compared to like New Orleans and shit like that. I was there, and we moved away when Hurricane Katrina happened. and then
because of Hurricane Katrina?
Not necessarily just because of it. So when Hurricane Katrina happened, everybody obviously had to evacuate and go up north. Yeah. It got fucking crazy. We didn't get hurricanes, but we got the backlash of the weather and stuff up there, which was fucking crazy too.
Flooding and whatever.
Yeah, dude. Water is one of the scariest fucking things.
Dude, it's heavy.
It's
people don't understand how heavy it is. Like,
it does not give a fuck. Water will tear some shit apart, bro. That's another topic we should talk about, is like the deep depths of the ocean.
I talk about anything, dude.
It terrifies me. It scares the fuck out of me.
I love talking about scary shit.
But we had a family that had more or less retired from California in Arkansas. Which, for one, Arkansas is pretty fucking boring unless you're into like hunting and like outdoors type shit, camping.
There's a lot of states that are boring.
Yes, absolutely.
Not everywhere can be California.
Or the country of Texas.
The Republic of Texas.
The country of Texas, because that's a fucking country. There's countries smaller than that state, population and size wise. But we had family that quote unquote retired in Arkansas, and so naturally we just moved to Arkansas and kind of moved up there with family and stuff that. Then probably 10 years later, I guess, give or take, my dad's mom came out here to take care of her mom before she passed away. Then my dad moved out, like came out here to check in on his mom, and then we kind of naturally just followed and moved out here, and then the rest is history. I'm here in Arizona now. But I've never been to the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and I've lived here for this long, and I've never been to New Orleans in Louisiana. But it's actually a goal, because AMAYA is now starting to do like some smaller like touring runs and like weekend runs out of town and stuff. There's actually a goal, maybe next year, maybe not, because we're trying to branch out as far as we can each time. I want to route a trip specifically to go through New Orleans just to see it for the first time.
Yeah.
But the problem is New Orleans before Katrina is a different New Orleans than after Katrina.
Yeah, sure.
Because that town got destroyed. So
it's been a while.
Well, sure, but I mean, like you have to think about what it probably was before it got wiped out. Because those buildings are so, everything in that city, from what I understand, is so old.
Yeah. That
like all that shit. I mean, you can rebuild it, but some of that shit you can't rebuild.
I wonder if it got wiped out before that. You know, like, was there another Katrina like 100 years before that? There's been, you know, like how many times has New Orleans been wiped off the map like that?
That's a good question, because being right there on the Gulf, I'm pretty sure it's happened. And I don't know about wipe the fuck out. Because I mean, I remember like
Katrina was pretty bad, but I don't know if that was like a failure of infrastructure. Like they just built it with no discrimination.
There was a levee, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And I think it failed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, as we were talking, water is fucking relentless.
Yeah.
Like
it's hard to stop.
Yeah. You had people taking fucking shelter in the Saints Stadium and shit like that. Like that situation was crazy. Like people still talk about Katrina and what it did to that city.
Yeah, man. Seems like man, it's just crazy. I remember I was working at Discover, and there was still like a program for Katrina victims, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. Natural disasters are fucking crazy. Like tornadoes. Have you ever been through a tornado?
No, I haven't been through a tornado.
ASMR beer cracking.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Here, I got another one. Hold on.
The energy is there though. Like the presence was known. Fucking, I feel like this is a good podcast. This is going good. We're talking about some natural disasters and fucking F1 being a bitch.
Oh yeah, F1 is a bitch, dude. Those fucking
acting
European
like a bitch.
dudes. Hold on.
That was good. It's a good sound.
All right.
It's a good sound. And you get like hold on. That was good. It's good.
All right. So that's the ASMR for the whole episode.
We should get like a zipper.
I absolutely despise ASMR, honestly.
all of it. There's different levels.
I think it's just weird, and I avoid.
There's different layers, dude. Because ASMR could be somebody cutting a grass, like cutting lawns.
Nope.
Have you ever seen somebody like cut the fuck out of a lawn?
Yeah, myself. Sucks.
That's not ASMR. That's work.
Yeah. I don't know. I just see people like, I see these like ASMR videos and it's someone cheesy like, hey, I'm doing an ASMR.
Okay, yeah, no.
And it's like, I don't know, like maybe I'm biased because I see all the most cringy ones in the world.
That's the weird ASMR where somebody's like, they'll take like somebody and they're like chewing. It's just like,
yeah,
like really fucking like that's not what I'm talking about.
They're like tearing paper.
No, like okay, like, ASMR videos.
God.
Like, have you ever taken like the plastic covering off of something that's like electronic that's brand new?
Yeah,
that's good shit.
I actually work AV.
Okay,
which means I hang TVs and projectors. So I do that a lot. It is satisfying every single time.
I'm telling you, that's the good ASMR.
I unbox like $10,000 piece of equipment. Oh yeah, dude, unboxing brand new stuff. It's like I do it every day. It's like
so satisfying, dude.
I get to hook all this up, and like that part of the job is fun. Like I like doing the actual work, but like everything else about my job is fucking garbage. Like the schedule, the fucking management, and like dude, the project management is trash. People are quitting left and right. It's pretty bad right now. I actually enjoy the like, oh, here's your pieces of equipment. Right. Follow this diagram and make sure they all connect and work. And it's like I can go into the plans and do all the connections and make all that shit work. And when you actually get it together and you go to test, you're like, fuck yeah, I did it right the first time. Right. Like, no troubleshooting. Like I did it right. You know, like there's always that moment of truth. You're like, all right, turn up the volume.
Does it turn on?
Play. You're like, there it is. And like sometimes there's like a missing speaker and you're like, fuck. You have to go like rewire it or something, but
yeah. See, that's another ASMR though, is cable management.
Yeah,
good cable management is
also
good. It's nice.
I've noticed that some people will pride themselves in cable management when they're just doing way too much work.
Sure.
And making it just way more difficult than it has to be.
Right.
And it's like, dude, for one, never ever use zip ties in a rack. If you use zip ties in a rack, you're a fucking idiot.
Zip ties?
Oh, do not use zip ties in a rack. Like, I never. Like, I don't care what you're tying up. Like, I hate that shit, dude. I always use Velcro.
Velcros are the best. You can literally, like, $8, you get 40 of those motherfuckers.
Yeah. I hope people at work are listening right now. Quit using fucking zip ties in the rack.
It's terrible. It's terrible because, yeah,
some people
that one time you go to fucking cut that thing and you cut your cable, you're an asshole.
Dude, there's a story that... and there's a story that goes around the shop, like, a guy who isn't at our work anymore, he cut his finger on a zip tie so bad he had to get surgery. He literally cut a tendon on his pinky.
Bruh.
And he had to get surgery for that shit. Like, because it was a zip tie in a rack. Like, it's so stupid.
Hey, those things are sharp. Those things are sharp as fuck.
Yeah, dude. I had a scar for years. I worked at Michael's.
Right.
And I was just walking past a rack. And somebody had cut all the zip ties at an angle. Like, why? Is that like a trick? Are you trying to fuck someone up on purpose?
Hey, some people are petty. Yeah, is it cool if I dump wiener?
Oh, yeah. Let's take a break real quick. And we're back.
Wiener has been dumped.
That's good. Glad to hear it. It's easier to concentrate, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was a good piss. Nice bathroom. Smelled good.
Took a while.
Yeah.
Probably was great.
Well, it was a good piss, and I have a broken wrist, so like putting belts on is kind of like a challenge sometimes.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so
you gotta do it with your opposite hand now.
We make it work. We figure it out. Dude. So what do you want to chat about now, dude? We've talked about fucking.
No, you seem excited to talk about the deep ocean for some reason.
Oh,
you like learned something new recently or something?
It scares me, dude. Like.
Do you like purposely look up videos?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'll start watching like shit about like undiscovered stuff that's never been explored, and it's like it's crazy that humans have been on this planet for how long that there's still things that have not ever been discovered.
Well, I mean, we haven't had submarines.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like submarines are relatively new,
but with how crazy technology has advanced, especially in the last 30, 40 years, even, Like, for there's another topic that actually gets brought up with this thing is like, we've done all these advancements in technology. Why haven't we returned to the moon?
It's expensive. It's like expensive for no profit. There's no profit out there. That's the thing. Like, everything is profit driven. You're not going to make money on the moon. There's nobody there to make money on.
I feel like exploration would be worth it because, okay, do you think we're the only form of fucking human life that exists in this galaxy?
I think of a lot of weird things. I think that, this might make me sound a little crazy, but there's some little stories I've heard from there's Bob Lazar, and then that guy Travis, I forgot his last name, the guy from Arizona,
okay,
who got abducted and has this crazy wild story. Some of the things he's said, I think that there might be aliens who have taken human form.
Okay,
if they can go from dimension to dimension and change their frequency in the timeline,
right?
You think they can't make themselves look like something else?
I definitely think aliens aren't what people think they are, like what they look like and what an alien is. I don't think it's a green person with a big head.
And if they are, who says it's not a biological drone?
Correct.
Could be fake, not a real live thing. It could be just a biological robot.
Crazy. But back to the ocean thing real quick. The fact that there's creatures and things that can withstand that sort of pressure below a certain point of water,
yeah,
that has never been discovered is it's weird to me because what made that?
They evolved down there.
It's crazy to me.
Became life down there, and they adapted through the hundreds of millions of years because the bottom of the ocean doesn't fucking change. Not much. Not like the land does up top. A hurricane can wipe out a fucking landscape.
Sure.
The bottom of the ocean, they don't have weather.
Right. That. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. But
those things, fucking crabs are hundreds and hundreds of millions of years old.
Right. Turtles.
Yeah.
Turtles are fucking crazy.
Turtles are pretty old too.
But another thing that's also crazy to me is the was it Megalodon?
The Meg.
Yeah.
Let's see if
I saw a video, it was an animated video of what would actually happen if one of those sharks actually just came up to the surface and took out a helicopter, fucking a boat and everything.
Yeah.
And it's the thought of something, because I mean, they found teeth and fossils of shit that is actually that big. So it's there's been proof that stuff is actually out there, or has been.
Has been. There would be a lot more evidence if they were in our ecosystem. I feel like we would see whales chomped in half.
There was one recently, I think.
Yeah?
I think they did find one where the whole tail was
that could have been multiple bites from other sharks. And
a whale's a fucking whale, though.
I know.
I'd
but sharks do eat whales.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Underwater is...
It's for something to be that big, it would have to have a lot of food.
Let me see.
You know what I mean?
Let me see. Because if it was that big, but also if they're that big, that's another situation where I think they can be a lot deeper in the water because of pressure and stuff like that. So
yeah, probably.
We might... How often do we actually explore out to the very, very deep emptiness of the Atlantic?
Well, what is their diet? That's what I'm saying. They need a lot of food, right? What else is living that down low? I guess we don't really know exactly, but they would need a large food source. So I'm thinking if there was a pocket of megalodons that still existed, we would see a lot more shit getting fucked up because they're so large and they need to eat a lot.
But they're gonna swallow most whole. I mean, at that size, something has to be significantly big to find remains.
Yeah.
Because all they do is open up their mouth. How much are they fucking inhaling and that you're never gonna see again? If they're that big, saying. Because I mean, from what we've discovered, they're supposed to be
yeah, they should be able to swallow a great white whole.
Exactly. So it's sure, I get what you're saying, but I feel it would have to be remains of a fucking lost boat or something like that.
How long can they live on a small population? Like what's the minimum population size to keep such a large animal alive?
And how much do they have to eat to actually stay alive?
Yeah.
Because like,
and they have to breed
yeah,
and make babies that go eat too, and then they have to eat enough to grow.
well, sure, but as you said, though,
you would see populations of whales just disappearing. Like,
well, not necessarily though, because I feel that we've gotten deep into some fucking shit on this one.
I'm just speculating, dude. I'm not an oceanographer.
I'm terrified of this shit. So
marine biologist. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely only educated on the theories and the weird shit that I've looked up.
I just see Facebook reels.
Yeah.
Let my imagination go.
I definitely think that like one thing to bring up though is how long, like you said, like a crab has been around. If something like that is prehistoric and technically like a fucking dinosaur, then maybe not. Maybe there is only like a handful of them. But that again, this is shit that's been going on. They've been talking about this shark for how long?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We haven't found a single carcass.
But I will say like my wife, she wants to like go on, like she went on a cruise recently.
Yeah.
I want to do it, but I know I'd be sitting there just staring at the fucking water, like with a fucking glass of champagne, like staring and being like, what's down there? What's down there?
Yeah, that's wild. At night.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen videos of a cruise ship at night, and it's like, dark. There's a reason people stay inside. Like, yes. It's ominous. It's
very,
just like,
very dark.
What the fuck?
Well, and like,
dark and quiet.
For example, like squids and shit, because squids don't have like a bone structure like that. They can handle like pressure, like jellyfish and stuff like that. They live far as fuck down too. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy because you never know what's under you.
Well, jellyfish are surface. Most of them.
Okay.
Because they need to feed on things that feed on light.
So it's squids that are like
squids
or octopus.
The giant squid go really low.
Okay, that's what it was.
I don't think there's a lot of octopus at the bottom. Like not at the deeper depths. Maybe like coastal bottom.
Yeah, not that deep.
But like out in deep ocean bottom, that's like you're getting to some weird shit like crabs and
yeah. What do you think's more scary or more mysterious, the ocean floor or space?
Space.
Yeah.
The ocean floor is finite.
I feel like space is either going to encounter discovering so much stuff that we never could have imagined, or there's not. Like, or it's going to be completely boring.
That's the mystery. Is that like there's no way to know how much it contains. Like for the ocean, I mean, you could do the math and see how many submarines you need to build to map the bottom of the ocean. There's math to do that.
Right.
You can't do that with space yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we don't know how the fuck to get away from our solar system. We don't even know how to get outside the sun's gravitational pull. Like,
I just wonder if when we went for the first time, we saw some shit up there that we were like, we shouldn't go back there.
Out in space?
Yeah.
They've probably told us. The aliens out there probably like, you guys need to quit.
Get the fuck back. I mean, that would make sense. Like,
don't come out here again.
It was a video. Some dude was talking about why we haven't gone back, and he was like, I think it was because it costs a lot, of course, but also he was like, it would hurt us to recreate what it took to go out there and stuff. I was like, nah, you guys saw some shit. Those motherfuckers, yeah, dude, those dudes told you not to come the fuck back, and you didn't.
There's a lot of weird stories from astronauts, dude.
Sure.
There's a lot of weird stories.
I mean, you think the dark ocean is fucking like eerie and stuff like that. Imagine seeing our fucking planet from a shuttle.
And just knowing like there's so many systems just keeping you alive. And like if anything happens on Earth
right
to those systems, like you're dead. You're fucked. You're never getting back. Like,
that's crazy.
Like they have to exist for you to be alive out there. Like,
but there's also a lot of people that like are firm believers that the moon landing is so staged. Which, I mean, do you know how easy, and especially with today's technology, we could stage a moon landing?
Yeah, I mean, who's to say? You know, like there was a lot that went into the moon landing.
Right.
It's hard to deny that there were a lot of people working on it, and like how many people would have to keep that secret? Or how many people did they have to make believe it was real? Yeah. You know, like, did they trick their own employees into thinking it was a real moon landing? Did they do the shoot live somewhere undisclosed?
I mean, I feel like to a degree, people have gotten away with some fucking crazy shit. So
like,
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like, I can't say whether it's true or not anymore. You know?
Yeah. It's truly hard for me to believe that after all the advancement that we've never at least tried to go back.
Well, but that's the thing. What's the point? Like, look at it this way. Like, why do we go there in the first place?
Well, why do we have people like scientifically researching space to begin with then, if we're not that concerned about it?
No. Like, the moon is just a barren rock. Like, why do we go there?
I'm not talking about just the moon. I'm talking about in general. Like, I mean, like exploration of space to a more degree.
Well, we are exploring space. But what I'm saying is, like, why do we make such a concerted effort to get to the moon? Just a rock orbiting our sun or orbiting our Earth. Like, why did we try so hard to get there in the first place? Like, there's nothing there. We already knew that, you know, like.
You're assuming there's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's nothing there. You can hold a telescope out and look at the moon, and it is a rock. Like, you can see all the craters, and it's just a bare rock.
It's just, I know, like, because here's the thing. It's like, when we talk about finances of stuff, our country's not really known to do the smartest financial decisions in the first place.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's like, after all the shit we've spent money on, I feel like going back to the moon would be something that, I'm not saying go fucking to the moon every year or anything like that, but like, we went there once, explore, and try to fucking figure out more shit, because
we don't have to anymore.
I guess. I mean, we don't have to do a lot of things. There's a lot of things we don't have to do.
We have drones that can gather more information than a human could. You know what I mean? Like,
would you ever go to the moon?
Drone with better cameras than our eyeballs. So, like, why would we send a person?
Would you ever go to the moon?
No.
Why?
Why would I? There's nothing there. I keep saying that.
I mean, okay.
There's nothing there, dude. There's not like a Bellagio fountain on the moon. Like, it's gonna.
You don't know that.
It's gonna be boring as fuck, dude. It's gonna be like just a desert of gray rocks.
All right. So if there was a Bellagio hotel there with a fountain, you'd go?
Hell yeah, dude. That'd be dope. You know how high they can shoot that water?
All right, case closed.
Sick.
Exploration of America, hotels on the fucking moon, dude. We need the Bellagio fountain on the moon.
Like, that's a tourist attraction, right? Like, put some tourist attractions up there. I might want to go.
Hey,
what would a roller coaster be like on the moon?
It wouldn't.
You know how big you can make that loop? That loop would be massive. It'd be like a 10-story building.
How long it would take to go around that loop?
It would be great the whole time.
You'd be like, there fucking free falling like the fucking whole time.
How long can you scream? You have to take a couple breaths.
Roller coaster on the goddamn moon. Do you smoke weed?
I smoke enough weed, yeah.
Okay. Because I also smoke weed, and there's no way that two motherfuckers that don't smoke weed would ever talk about a roller coaster in the Bellagio fountain on the goddamn moon, dude.
Well, you asked me if I would go to the moon, and I told you what it would take. So
our standards as humans is so sick.
My standard is
you got Coors Light up there?
First world country, you know, motherfucker. I'm so glad I was born in a first world country. Jesus Christ.
America, where the beers
I have the privilege of thinking about a roller coaster on the moon.
Look, we spend money on a lot of things as a country. I don't see why I don't go back to the moon again.
Because there's no profit. There's no return.
Yeah.
I think before it was like a, one up on the Russians or whatever. But it's like, it was a political gain.
Right.
There's no political gain anymore.
America got that American flag up there, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, that is a win.
Should just launch a rocket with like 20 flags, and then hopefully one of them sticks. We got another one up there.
You just have a fucking parking lot beer session in front of the Bellagio fountain on the moon.
I would
too.
If it existed.
That'd be sick.
Fucking metal show on the moon.
Dude, I mean, fucking, you already have Metallica that played on Antarctica.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not the moon, but like, what's in Antarctica? Metallica was.
Penguins.
Yeah. A lot of ice.
More than the moon. There's more in Antarctica than the moon.
You don't know that? Prove it.
Penguins.
How do you know penguins aren't on the moon? Were you there?
That's true. There weren't any in the video.
Well, they were probably nervous. I wouldn't want
They were nervous.
Dude, if I saw some big motherfucker in a white marshmallow suit coming at me like fucking all crazy, I wouldn't want to be on camera either, dude. Like,
well, in Antarctica, they're like fucking red or orange. Like, they still don't give a shit.
hey, I mean, alien penguins, Earth penguins.
They need water and fish.
Fish.
There's no fish on the moon. There's no penguins.
Again, prove it.
All right. Show me an ocean.
All right, I'll get right on that. Dude, this shit's fucking funny. America, the shit that we've accomplished, but like because profit is such a driving factor in a lot of things, you are correct. Like if it's not worth it, there may be the most spectacular thing that ever happens, but if there's no profit from it, it's not ever going to happen again.
Yeah. Or if it gets in the way of somebody else's profit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, they'll try to stop you. That's a problem too.
Right.
There's a lot of people who stop progress because it gets in the way of their profit.
Sure.
There's a reason we've been running on gas for so long. There's a reason our entire society is based on gasoline.
Well, okay, controversial topic then. Do you think that by now we wouldn't have found a cure for like cancer and AIDS?
Oh, that's a medical issue. I don't know anything about that.
But we talked about before this shit started rolling, like how they're obviously going to make more money from you being sick than not.
Yeah.
With how much technology that's advanced, it's hard for me to believe that we haven't gotten any sort of like extreme progress on that type of stuff.
I mean, is there a way to kill cancer? I don't know.
Well, right. I don't know either, but we've discovered some pretty incredible things, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy to think that there's been no extreme advancement in that shit.
No advancement at all.
Right.
We're still like poisoning people to try to kill the cancer.
Right. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fucking cancer, so you don't know. So.
Yeah, you only know if you're a doctor. And you only know what the school tells you.
Yeah.
So it's like if the school is teaching the doctors a certain thing, then the doctors only know a certain thing.
Right.
And yeah. I could see that being a thing. Like maybe that there is a cure for cancer and they're like, we can't let this.
Well, how much money there's so much money in the cancer industry. Like chemo and shit.
Yeah, cancer treatment is pretty expensive. Like
obviously I haven't gone to the doctor recently for anything extreme like that, but like just going to visit a doctor is fucking, it's expensive as fuck to be hurt.
Oh yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
I am so careful.
Yeah. I'm not.
Well, being addicted to the pit's another thing. When I see a fucking super heavy band go on it, I want to just jump in there, get some shit out.
I agree. Like I said, apparently it's been over 100 shows this year, so I can attest.
Oh yeah. I don't think you said that yet.
No, not when we were recording. No.
You do 100 shows in a year.
Well, that's between obviously both bands playing shows.
Oh, you're kind of the ones you played?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because like...
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah.
Because, I mean, I think AMAYA played like over 21 shows this year. And then
that's crazy.
And then Rattlesnake, I think... Yeah, it was a busy year. And I think Rattlesnake's played like around 10, maybe? But...
Yeah, dude, that's almost like every 2 weeks.
Yeah. But that's also... out of town, out of state shows as well.
Well, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's been busy as fuck. It's expensive and it's busy. It's easily job number 2 and 3, but it's worth it. I love it. But yeah, between playing shows and going to shows as just a person in the crowd, my buddy Gavin, we go to a lot of shows together. That motherfucker has been there for every single hand injury that's happened in the last like year and a half. And it's like 3 or 4.
Jeez.
Yeah, maybe he's my bad luck. Maybe it's him. He's getting me hurt.
Who is it?
Gavin.
Gavin?
He is good friends with like the Condemned dudes and stuff like that.
Well, I gotta have him on.
Gotta have him on. I don't know. He might.
Talk shit about fucking up your hand.
Well, he also has gotten some injuries. Here's the thing. I mean, like everybody's like, you're always getting hurt. It's like after 110 shows, it's like the ratio is not that bad. I mean, it sucks getting hurt, but like they're dumb fucking injuries.
Anyone who goes to 100 shows is gonna get hurt.
Well, I haven't even done the count, but he started counting because we go to a ton of shows together. He started counting between shows that he's gone to and shows that like I've played and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's gone to over 90, and there's times where I go to shows by myself just because I'm off work early and I ain't got nothing to do on a fucking Tuesday night. And so, yeah, I mean, over 100 fucking shows. I don't want to do the math on how much like ticket costs and merch costs and stuff like that. It's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Gotta quit that shit.
I need to get my numbers up there.
I mean, I'm proud of it. I love,
but they were not that high.
Well, the thing is like it's not just metal shows. I listen to anything, everything.
I don't.
See, I listen to country. I listen to pop music. I listen to rap music. I listen to
a lot of different shit, but not everything.
I mean, everything is a blanket statement because there is some dog shit ass fucking music out there. When I say rap, not all rap. I do not listen to all rap. There is some absolute terrible fucking rap out there.
Ice Spice.
I don't even know who the fuck that is. Is that chick with red hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the Bad Bunny?
Dude, like there's so many modern rappers that are just.
It's that girl rap that's really popular right now.
Well, and then look at fucking Taylor Swift. What the fuck happened there? She's not a new artist and she's already been big in country.
She knows what she's doing.
I mean,
as far as marketing her music.
It's crazy to me though, because like she did phenomenal in country. And then from what I understand was pretty low key for a little bit. Like her records were pretty good, but not like what the fuck it is now.
She had some problems with the record labels. I think that's what was going on.
But out of nowhere, her new music, she's selling tickets like Metallica's selling. And it's just like, good for her. That's fucking cool.
She literally like re-recorded an entire album and just said Taylor Swift version at the end.
Okay.
Just so she could get her music back. She re-recorded the songs. And she said, you can have those recordings. I'm going to make my own.
Sure. That's pretty fucking gangster.
Because the record label wouldn't sell them back to her. So she's like, all right, fuck you.
That's crazy, dude, because like I said...
she's like sued Live Nation for a bunch of money.
Dude, what a company.
Because Live Nation fucked up her, like one of her tours.
Live Nation has fucked up a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. And she's like the one leading the charge on fucking putting them in their place. But I don't know. It's going to be a long time before that happens.
It's pretty fucking impressive, though. Like, you go from country to, like, I think she's considered, like, a pop artist now, technically.
Yeah, definitely pop.
Like, you go from country, which she did very well in, and went to a completely different genre and did even better. It's like, people that are talking shit on all these people, it's like, okay, go do it yourself.
Yeah, figure it out.
Like
I tell people sometimes, like, I should just be a country singer.
Country?
Because country is probably the easiest genre to get successful. Well, that's just my opinion, dude. I could just put on a southern accent and start fucking singing country and nobody would know the difference.
Well,
I'm from Arizona. I could be country.
I don't know about that. But I will agree that country is definitely has the most money in it, I think, right now.
It's easy to listen to.
Very digestible.
It's very easy to listen to.
A lot of the average people can relate to a lot of the lyrics that are being talked about.
And honestly, Taylor Swift just dropped the accent. She went back to her normal American accent, and then everything it's still the same music.
Yeah,
it's just pop now. It's because when she was making country, it was pop country.
Right.
It's not like it was like fucking Hank Williams, like it wasn't fucking Johnny Cash. It was pop country. And she like literally faked the accent, which is hilarious to me. She put on an accent for those albums, and it's funny.
Yeah, I don't think she's a hick by any means.
She doesn't talk like that at all. No, her dad literally bought a record label so that he could publish her.
Right.
Like it's not like she came from the fucking streets,
sure.
like the backwoods of Memphis, Tennessee. Or
there's an artist that's recently. Now again, I'm the type of dude that if you go look at like, for example, like my stupid Spotify rap thing. My top artists and songs are not metal bands. Like I
see a lot of metalheads. Their top artists are just not metal.
No, I mean like
that's all right.
I'm telling you, like if your music makes me move my head, it sounds good to me. I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. There's an artist that's like completely taken over country music, and he's a dude that's been in prison since he was like fucking like 16 or 17 years old. His wife was like actually a fucking prostitute. Like they were from some fucking rough shit when he grew up. He's a rapper.
You talking about Jelly Roll?
Yeah. That dude's come up story is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like he realized he could sing a little bit, started talking about some real ass shit, and he's literally winning Grammys right now.
Yeah, look at that Oliver dude. He fucking recorded a few songs about, real life shit. Yeah. And like they're literally recorded on his phone.
Right.
And he just like ported them to Spotify.
Yep.
Boom, instant like viral.
It's
because
crazy
it was
how
so
that works.
real.
Yep.
Like it's just the every man's perspective
Sure.
on all of it. And like maybe you don't agree with some of the lines in that song, but the general gist of the song is like the politicians who run the country are fucking us over.
Right.
And everyone was like, yeah.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Well, so
they are.
That's what I wanted to touch on when you said like country music, I think is the easiest to get big in. Yes and no, but I think you can't fake real shit to a degree.
Oh yeah.
Like
there's different variables.
Jelly Roll, for example, you can't fake that he found he was on the streets and his wife was a prostitute and she fucking saved him type of shit. You can't make that shit up.
Yeah.
Like, and so there's definitely people that I think have this front, but I feel like you can tell, I mean, emotion translates. Like when somebody's talking about some real ass shit, you can usually fucking feel it. I mean, depending on what they're talking about, of course, and different situations. If it's like a death metal song, things are a little bit different when it comes to emotion in that sense. But like a country song, if you listen to like Jelly Roll's music, you could tell that dude's seen some shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, he got tattoos on his face.
Tons of them.
Usually people with tattoos on their face have seen some shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think
usually.
I think he was in jail when he found out he had his first kid and shit like that. Like, there's a documentary on Netflix about like him and his like come up and stuff like that. And it's really good. But just examples like that, like Taylor Swift, you were saying like her dad bought a record label. Jelly Roll literally is like, I think he's like in his late 30s, and he just won New Artist of the Year almost in his 40s.
Yeah, he's probably going to create his own label at some point and start
it's incredible.
Fucking producing other artists' music. Like he's probably going to go down that road, I bet.
And what I also love about like certain artists getting big in country is you have certain artists that, for example, Jelly Roll is a rapper. So he's automatically going to bring up some hip hop people. Post Malone, he literally loves hardcore and metal music, like loves that shit. And so it's like you have some people that like hate that metal is becoming more in the forefront, whereas here I'm sitting there like, metal needs to be everywhere. Like I want the culture everywhere.
Yeah,
obviously not in the degree of like, here's the Kardashians wearing Slayer shirts just because it's fashionable. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but more accepted.
I think that's the problem with the biggest, I guess I'd call it a bottleneck as far as like metal being popular, is that like you have to see it live.
Right.
If you don't see it live, like it's not gonna come across in the recording. It just won't. Like if you haven't fucking witnessed a metal show and seen the energy and like how it's supposed to sound, like mic'd up and like fucking amped on giant speakers, like fucking blasting in your face, you feel all the notes. If you haven't been there, like it's kind of hard to relate to the recording.
Right.
Especially
in extreme metal. Like in a lot of like super heavy shit, there's like for example, death metal. I love death metal.
Oh yeah.
But there's totally a thing about the recording quality. Even modern death metal bands sound like they're in a fucking hallway screaming. That's just the thing. If you go listen to those bands live, the experience is so much different. There's some bands that I've seen live that I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, cause like recording just did not even do it justice. But of course, I love the recordings of death metal too. It's a different listening experience. But I think, obviously, I don't want metal to be like pop culture-esque shit, but I definitely think it's sick that metal is more accepted. Because you have big festivals where like some of the biggest country artists are playing, but you have a headliner that's like Knocked Loose. Knocked Loose played Coachella. I think that is.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I think that is one of the coolest fucking things for hardcore and metal music, because like, sure, it's becoming more main. I guess if you want to look at it like, oh, it's mainstream and people are trying to gatekeep the whole thing, but like, why would you not want our people to be successful?
Yeah, I would.
Touring's already expensive and hard enough.
I don't even like Knocked Loose, but I think that's pretty cool.
That is sick. like Coachella is literally the festival for like the pop culture people of that.
I just think
side.
Of Drake.
Yeah.
I just think of Drake.
But the fact that we have something like Knocked Loose on it, I think is a great thing for our industry.
Yeah.
Because
for sure. I mean, the more festivals we can infiltrate, the better. There's
already so many handicaps and things working against bands like already. Why would we want to like rip away the one thing that seems to be taking metal to like a different forefront?
Yeah.
Touring's expensive. You just had Kiss that announced, I think fucking today or yesterday, that they're going to like a digital live performance situation because touring's expensive. Kiss, the biggest money making fucking,
and they're old.
Sure. Well, yeah, that's a big factor there.
They can't be traveling like that.
But Kiss is also literally one of the biggest money making bands to ever do it. If they're going to a digital fucking situation,
I don't think you should use them as a standard because
in
like
they're.
For one, they got big in the 70s.
Sure.
So that's one thing.
But that band was created to make money.
I know. It's a business.
Right.
That's not what most bands are.
Sure.
Most bands aren't just 99% marketing. Because if you actually listen to their music, you can tell it's not about the music.
No.
If you know anything about music, you know Kiss is the simplest bullshit in the world.
I love Kiss.
Like,
disclaimer, I love Kiss.
Yeah. Okay. Like, disclaimer.
Not all Kiss.
I like 4 songs.
Love Gun. Love Gun.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, fucking Strutter.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Strutter rips, dude. Strutter is a great fucking song. No, I mean,
there's a couple good ones.
The only reason I'm not using Kiss as a standard, I'm using Kiss as an example because they are the last band that needs to give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about logistics and paying for shit. But like, you're going to tell me that, I mean, I think Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, for who they are, they're in great fucking health, it seems. But like, a band like, I'm only using them as an example because money's not a problem to them. But if they're even resorting to alternatives like that, it's interesting to see how the music industry might be evolving in that sense.
I mean, it's hard to ignore like the tools that are existent. You know what I
mean?
We
live in a weird age when it comes to technology and music.
I think COVID kind of opened up a lot of doors. You know, it opened up people's perspective.
Sure.
Like, okay, we can actually do a live performance from the internet and just live stream it.
And not have to leave our house.
Yeah. And it's like that. It only goes so far. You can't pay a full ticket price for that.
Sure.
But like $1 for an entry on a live show.
But you go do 2 hours in your fucking bedroom and you made how much money?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's still Kiss. People are still going to watch it.
Yeah.
Because they're one of those bands that whether you like them or not,
well, you know, they have a standalone studio. That's all their own. It's not their bedroom.
No, and I'm just using that example, but we can also bring up other examples. Like look at Slipknot. Slipknot is easily one of the biggest metal bands of our generation ever. They're even talking about just how touring is affecting them. Mastodon, gigantic band. They're looking into alternatives for their fly rigs and stuff like that because touring is fucking expensive. And so we already have so many fucking like I was saying before, we have so many handicaps and variables that are against musicians to begin with. I think it's ridiculous when people are like, metal's becoming too mainstream. It's like,
good.
Yeah. Like
good.
We've been bitching for how long about X, Y, and Z, and now it's like certain things are finally starting to kind of move a little bit, and now it's like, oh, fuck that. We don't want change.
Yeah, there's always going to be those dudes that are like, oh, that's not what metal's about. Metal's about
keep it edgy, keep it dangerous.
Like, okay, then go make an underground band and stay underground forever. I don't care.
Right.
But like for the people that want to get bigger and see like hundreds of thousands of people like on their fucking tours, like let them do it. Like, in fact, that's fucking dope.
There's a time and place for all of it. DIY is not going anywhere. Underground stuff is not going anywhere. But the people that want to make this their fucking career and passion, don't make it harder for them just because you don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Like, you can still go to your show in the fucking basement of wherever the fuck you're going to watch your shows. That's not going to change.
Well, I think the people who are talking shit aren't even
those are the people that are still mad that Slayer's not around anymore. Like,
yeah, but it's like they don't really have the power to change anything anyways.
Correct.
You know what I mean? The people complaining about it are just the people that the keyboard warriors. They're just like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, you shouldn't be playing at Coachella.
It's the same thing as, here's another example, skateboarding. When skateboarding first started, it was looked at as like a delinquent thing that was not acceptable. You're sitting there, you're grinding on shit, you're destroying shit, blah, blah, blah. There's people, now skateboarding's in the fucking Olympics. There's Olympic skateboarding now. So it's like, I feel like it's the same thing, because you also have people that in the skateboarding culture that are like, make skateboarding fucking edgy again, make skateboarding dangerous again. It's like, sure, but why would you not want shit to be accepted in the sense of like the actual big realm of this stuff? You could still have your shit and your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, dude. I see some metal festivals that happen, and like I see tickets for like Europe, like bills for like these metal festivals in Europe.
Right.
I'm just so jealous. You know what I mean? Like that shit never happens in America.
No.
At least not near Arizona. Like that shit hardly ever happens where it's like 40 metal bands playing at one fucking festival.
It's always
like,
in Vegas or in California.
Yeah, but it's like even then, like it's not even every year.
Right.
You know, it's like some bullshit, and the tickets probably are like $400 or there's not including the parking pass and
Sick New
food.
World, that festival that's about to go down in April in Vegas. It's like fucking $400 ticket.
Yeah, dude, I can't fucking do that. I don't know.
But also another thing is, whenever we have a festival in Arizona, like we have Knotfest, it's 4 bands. Don't call it a fucking festival whenever our local shows have more bands than that on it.
Yeah,
like
1 day festival, that's not a festival.
Right, yeah, no, like
unless it's 2 fucking days at least.
Right.
And that's like fucking 6 bands each day. At least 6 bands each day.
I'm gonna go take a piss again. Is that cool?
Yeah, man. We can take another break. All right, back again. So, right before I hit record, I was talking with Dakota about Magicians of the Gods by Graham Hancock. So if you got Spotify Premium, you get 15 free hours of any book on there.
Okay.
I picked that one because it's fucking insane. But Graham Hancock talks about the Younger Dryas impact theory, which is like the theory that there was a impact near the North Pole about 12,000 years ago. And maybe a few... it's hard to say because it was ice. There's no craters. So it hits ice, doesn't leave a crater, but it melts a bunch of ice. So it just washes the land with water, the Great Flood.
Okay.
So that's the theory, is that something hit the North Pole and there's a flood over the entire world pretty much. And we're talking like 2-mile high wave of sludge, not water, like mud and boulders the size of Phoenix, rolling over the landscape, like absolute chaos, like fucking crazy shit. So Magicians of the Gods is about pretty much how that happened, and there are still artifacts today from before that time. So from before 12,000 years ago. And he likes to try to prove that like the pyramids and the Sphinx were from before that time. So Egyptology says that the pyramids and the Sphinx were built like 4,000 years ago. But he says there's evidence that it was far older, like 20,000 years ago. Like they survived the Great Flood. Like Egypt used to be a fucking rainforest. Like it wasn't a desert before.
That's some pretty fuch deep shit to think that something changed the entire landscape of half the fucking planet.
Yeah, and archaeologists try to stop him from they're always fighting him, saying like, no, you're not right, you're totally wrong, like you're false. But like all the evidence he gives, it's like, I don't know, how do you say he's wrong for sure? Because like this shit is so compelling. Like all of the evidence that he lines up, he's not even an archaeologist. He has no degrees in these things. But like he writes on it and he goes and researches. He literally goes to these places and like compiles research from people from like, you know, the past who like aren't writing anymore because they're dead, you know. So it's like
people don't seem to like when you start discovering shit you shouldn't be discovering, I guess.
Yeah, dude. And there's a lot of shit. Well, the thing is like if he's right, it would destroy a lot of people's careers.
Right.
A lot of what they wrote would be totally false and irrelevant now. So like there's a concerted...
It would change science. It would change history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is fucking crazy to think like a discovery could change the entirety of like that was all fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and right now it's starting to change.
Right.
Like, there's things that, you know, are undeniable at this point. Like fucking, I don't know, he gets really into it in Magicians of the Gods, but there's a lot of things that are like buildings that were built out of these giant stones that we can't even do today. Well, you know, we can't do that shit today.
That's a great point that you bring up, because there's something I looked up that kind of trails off of this. The size of what humans were at one point is a conversation. Because you ever look at like, so there's an example like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
If you look at hieroglyphics, you see people, I mean, hieroglyphics are paintings on walls.
Yeah.
These are these. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta make the appearance somehow.
They woke up from their nap.
Now it's fucking game time.
Yeah, that's the annoying one.
Is she a girl?
Yeah. Brother and sister.
Okay. They're so cute though. So with hieroglyphics, it's still humans fucking putting pictures on walls, right? But these are pictures that are something that they're depicting seeing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, whenever you see like humans depicted as the same size as giraffes and shit, and some of these hieroglyphics, and also like the landscapes of certain parts of the earth are depictive of like at one point humans were a lot bigger than what they were now.
I think that there are like hieroglyphics of the gods or whatever that they're always pictured larger than the humans. Like there are many examples of this throughout many different cultures.
Right.
Of like beings that were teachers that taught wisdom and like how to farm and how to be civilized and like laws. Like this is a very common thing throughout different cultures. And they're always depicted as bigger than humans. You know?
But
it's kind of weird.
You can look at that as like metaphorically, like they're leaders, so they are bigger than humans, but why?
Yeah, I mean, humans have always tried to make art as realistic as possible, though.
Right. So it's like, to me, why would somebody just continuously draw humans the size of a giraffe just for the sake of showing them significantly?
It's not just all humans either. It's like specific beings, specific like deities.
But even it goes down even to genetics to today. We were talking about Andre the Giant. That's in...
Well, that was a medical disorder. He literally had like gigantism.
Well, but we can also talk about pro athletes again. There's still evidence of people that are just very big people.
Yeah.
I myself, I'm 6'3" and like almost 300 pounds. And there's people that still walk this earth that make me look like a fucking very tiny person.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not saying humans were at one point fucking like monsters, but like,
I think there's maybe a different species that was close to humans that were...
Because the pyramids are a great example.
Well, Graham Hancock goes into this in Magicians of the Gods, the giants. Like he literally talks about that, like specifically, and about the Nephilim in the book of Enoch, and about how the Nephilim were the children of gods and humans, and how they stood like so much taller, and they ate all the resources that the humans had, and the humans were angry that the Nephilim have taken this, and even the gods were angry that they were sleeping with humans, and they punished them by sending a great flood. Like he goes over all these theories, and he matches them up between different cultures. It's just wild to listen to.
See, disclaimer for anybody that even makes it this far into my episode. everything that's being discussed right now is so minute knowledge wise. This is just shit that I find myself just kind of being fascinated with and starting to kind of just,
dude, it's fun, man.
Like kind of deep dive into it. But I don't know this or that. I have not researched giants so far to where I can even fucking feel confident in anything I'm saying. So this is all just speculation, because I know there's some people out there that are very hell bent on theories.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be clear that
mic a little closer.
I want it to be clear that I definitely do not claim that like all the shit that I'm saying is by any means real. I just start looking into shit that I think is interesting. Like, for example, the landscapes of mountains and shit. Like, people have started looking at how like the earth is like curved and built at certain ways, and like what looks like could have been the way a larger human was there at one point. And
how talking about like Peru?
Well, just in general, like Earth's landscape. Like Earth's landscape is fucking crazy if you actually start thinking about it. How mountains, like just in general. But going back to the pyramids real quick, the architecture structure of that whole thing is actually ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense at all.
It's not meant for human occupation.
Right.
The chambers inside of that pyramid don't make sense for humans to be inside of it.
And for the time, whether you want to believe it's from 20,000 years ago or however long, how far advanced that structure is for what it is. We don't have shit being built now that's even close.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Like, yeah. I mean, as somebody who's worked construction and seen how things are just created from the ground up,
like, no way.
Not a fucking chance.
Yeah, so like
I'm pretty sure one of the layers is like taller than a huge, like I've never obviously been to fucking Egypt or anything like that, but from what scaling, like pictures for scale size and stuff like that.
All right, so I might be getting these numbers wrong, but there's like 2.4 million blocks in the Great Pyramid. This is just one of the pyramids, right? So one of the pyramids, you got like over 2 million blocks in it. For them to build it within the timeline they said, like that it was built in,
right?
They would have to place one of those blocks every 10 minutes. Those blocks are like tons each,
right? And we don't eat like
24/7, 10 minutes every block, like to build it within the 5-year span they said it was going to be built in.
But and that's not so. What's crazy about that to me is that's only regarding the actual structure itself. To create something like that with what's inside of it, do you know what it would take to plan?
Yeah, like to stack the blocks, you know exactly where they're going to be. Every 10 minutes, a block goes down. Like you could probably do that and make like a big cube pretty easily. But like a pyramid that lines up in a very specific direction with the angles that go all the way and point at the top with perfect measurement, and the chambers inside with slabs of granite that are over like 20 tons.
That's another thing. If structures were built that strong that early on, why are we still having houses being built that are torn down by fucking disasters and shit?
Because they're all in the ocean. Dude, the water level rose 400 feet.
Dude, this is such a... I love this conversation.
There's whole cities under the ocean, dude.
I'm glad we did not get on here and just talk about the local scene, which we are going to talk more about the local scene, by the way. But I'm glad this is what we got on here.
I'll talk about anything, dude. I don't care.
No, because like this. So from the last episode I was on till now, this is so night and day difference. Like I just sit in a fucking room with a homie just talking about.
I looked it up and you were literally episode 10. Like I was right.
Okay.
So from episode 10 to episode 42.
There's a lot that's happened between that
32
time.
episodes. I've gotten a little better at this. I know what's like I like to talk about. This is one of my go-to subjects.
I
like to get everyone's opinion on ancient civilizations. Like I love to hear what people like think about it. Like
look, man,
awesome.
So regarding everything we've talked about, one, it has definitely helped that we've gotten to know each other a little bit more personally between the house parties and hanging out with homies and stuff like that, because I feel like I'm just sitting here with a buddy now. I forgot that the camera was on most of this time.
Yeah.
But second, like...
Yeah, fuck the camera.
Yeah, fuck the camera. Like, I love that everything we've talked about is all for one speculation and just sitting here thinking of what might be possible and stuff
we didn't
like
go
that.
to college.
I'm here, like, for example, the metal in the forefront bullshit. I'm all about happy mediums. Do I want people wearing our shit for fashion because it's fashion? Yes and no.
That's profit.
Yeah, because I mean, people are still making merch. Well, merch is the
that
fucking,
would pay your rent.
Absolutely, merch is the fucking move. If you could turn your brand into a clothing, if you could turn your band into a clothing brand, full fucking send it. I can't. That's definitely not my band. But there's definitely, if you can earn money, whatever revenue you can, full send it. But obviously, do I want, like, fucking, like I was saying before, do I want the Kardashians fucking wearing Slayer and Exodus shirts because it's fucking trendy? No, that's not the shit I want. But also, I definitely don't need every sort of music to be in the underground forever. Like, everybody's here for their own agenda, but I'm all about happy mediums.
Yeah.
Happy mediums and everything.
We need a psychobilly movement. Because
Arizona used to, when I first started,
really good psychobilly bands.
When I first started getting into the scene out here, there was a couple of fucking like rockabilly and psychobilly bands that were going on tour a lot. There's a horror themed psychobilly band called the Cold Blue Rebels.
Cold Blue Rebels.
Their logo is a PBR ribbon. They have so horror punk, like it's horror themed punk music. The Cold Blue Rebels have the horrorness going on. They wear the makeup, the blood, and everything like that, but they play psychobilly music, and it's fucking badass, dude.
Nice.
It is super sick. Have you heard of the Necromantics?
That sounds familiar.
I actually think they're from here. I think they're an Arizona band, but they're a psychobilly band. Like the dude plays a stand-up bass that's shaped like a coffin. It's badass. But what were we talking? The Pyramids. So also, we both have ADD. This whole episode is ADD. I love it.
Most of them are.
I need to double check this one though, but I'm pretty sure my wife's aunt has been to Egypt.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm going to grill her with questions after this episode. Do you think aliens are real? She'll be like, yeah. I'm like, dude, me too.
All right, so you want to know something really crazy?
What you got?
The pyramids are, this is all theory, right?
They're lined up with certain stars, aren't they?
Orion's belt.
That's bullshit. The humans did not make that.
So listen, the theory that Graham Hancock has is that it's a calendar, like the hands of a clock, that point to a specific time for reasons unknown. Okay, so the Sphinx, the theory is that it used to be a lion, and they carved the face down to a human face because it was so weather eroded, you couldn't. It just looked like old weathered garbage. So they carved it into a beautiful face, right? That's what the Egyptians did. The theory is that it was built as a lion because on the spring equinox at a certain year and time, the constellation Leo is where the sun rises directly through the middle of Leo on the spring equinox is literally like 11,000 years ago, right? When that catalysm, like fucking super apocalypse happened, right? so now this isn't it. So Leo is the constellation. They attribute the Greeks to, defining the constellations and saying all this, but this is older. So if this is true, then the Greeks learned the constellations from a different culture, the Egyptians, which they learned it from another culture. So let's say that that's true. Leo lines up with, or the Sphinx lines up with Leo on the spring equinox of this year, which was like 12,000 years ago. Well, also due directly north of that, Orion lines up with the pyramids, like where they face, like true north. So there's like a specific timeline of 80 years where those two things will line up, and it's just so crazy, like the number of years that it takes for these things to line up.
Right.
It's like it would have to be older than 4,000 years.
Some of that shit feels coincidental though.
It can't be.
But if it's correct, if it's not, because here's the thing. Hypothetically, all the shit we're saying is incorrect and like everything that happened was real. Humans at one point were so technologically advanced that they were able to manage to pull this off. It's crazy to me to think that humans went from such knowledgeable, insanely genius humans to literally rediscovering the fucking wheel and creating electric cars and shit like that. Like, that progression in that timeline makes no sense to me.
I think that there's a different branch of technology. Like, there's a certain set of physics that we've forgotten. So, like, we at one point, I feel like we knew how to manipulate rock and matter. We knew how to manipulate it to where we could, like, literally soften it and sculpt it.
It's just hard for me to believe that while we've progressed as a society, that knowledge as a human has not.
Well, think about the Great Flood. So a giant fucking cosmic impact on the North Pole launches a flood over everything. Almost everyone dies. There's a few stories of a boat that survives. You know,
so it wiped out the entire human race of that area.
Almost all of them. The only things left are monuments made of limestone and granite, like, that got buried.
I'm gonna have to look this one up because this one's fucking deep.
Dude, Magicians of the Gods. Look at this, dude. It is such a crazy fucking book. And he goes through it step by step. And you're just like, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
Like, if everything he's saying is, like, if all the facts that he claims, like, he over and over in the book, he says, like, I'm not saying this is true. I'm just giving you facts.
Yeah.
Like, these are real facts and you can look them up. He says that over and over throughout the book. And you're like, dude, there's no way this is all coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many stellar calendars on the earth, like in Malta, in fucking Mexico. Like, there are so many things that point to the stars and specific dates.
Right.
It's like, there's no way we didn't have astrological knowledge like 12,000 years ago. We had to have.
It's just crazy to think that we were so much smarter in that time, it seems.
I think that there were other beings teaching us things, you know, like, there's always stories of these, like, whether they be like the Nephilim or gods or whatever, like, there's always something giving us knowledge.
Right.
You know, like, that's like it's as common as the Great Flood. Like,
Yeah.
there's always something after the Great Flood that taught us how to restart society. And it's like, you know, maybe they had knowledge that this was going to happen.
Right.
Maybe they knew there was going to be a flood. You know, like Noah, he was told that there was going to be a flood and you need to build a boat and you need to have all this fucking equipment and you need to have all these animals with you. Maybe that's part of it. Noah was one of the receivers of the message saying, like, you need to build this, like, to survive this fucking crazy shit that's going to happen.
That's still, with all these factors here, the pyramids are still the one factor here that makes me, I'm just like, there's no way.
You know what bugs me?
There's no way.
It really bothers me, and I comment on these Facebook stories, even though they're probably all AI written. But I see shit that's like, oh, the pyramids were built during, like, the time of woolly mammoths. It's like 5,000 years ago.
Right.
I don't think so, dude. They're way older. And people say, they'll, like, compare things like, oh, we found this thing that dates back to the time of the pyramids. It's like, why? Like, you don't know how old the pyramids are. Right. Stop saying that. Like, they're not 4,000 years old. They're way older than that.
But here's also another thing too, is like, weathering takes a big toll on structures no matter what it's made out of. Egypt is it's in a desert. Super dry, all that other shit. Like, no matter when it was made, 5,000 years ago, 12,000, however many thousands of years ago it was made, it's still absurd to me that the structure's integrity is still.
Well, it's been a desert for 10,000 years, right?
Right.
So what was it before that? Like, the theory is that it was a rainforest.
It was
because there was an ice age, right? It was during the ice age. It was lush forest because it was nice and warm.
The pyramids were after the forest era, right?
During. So saying that was very, very prosperous time because everything was nice and growing well. It was a rainforest, dude. So they could build whatever the fuck they wanted. They had food everywhere.
So does this theory state that the pyramids were made before the Great Flood.
Before the Great Flood,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because they could withstand it, technically. I mean, it's a solid fucking piece of rock. There's not a lot of empty space in there.
But listen, dude, we were talking about how crazy water is and how heavy it is. A 2-mile wave will take out any, like, I don't care how structurally.
What comes before it? Is it going to bury it in mud and then everything else washes over it? Like, how flat was this land? Egypt is pretty flat, right?
Sure.
It can get buried before the real destruction comes. Like, the flood could fill up and then everything washes over top of it. Like, I'm sure there's a lot destroyed. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But how much survived? I think the pyramids survived. I think the Sphinx survived. I think anything underwater survived.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that got fucked up. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you look at a good example is like the Scablands in Washington State.
Sure.
Okay. If you look at the landscape from like a drone or like a helicopter, it looks like things have been scooped out of the earth and just tossed. Like, they're just literally like hand scoops out of the fucking earth. And it's like, how did that happen? You know, like, there had to be fucking boulders that came and crashed through that land and ripped all that land up.
Yeah.
And like, how much of those monuments just got washed away?
Right.
You know, if anything was built on like a certain height, it was gone. You know, maybe Egypt was like the lower point, so it got buried and then flooded. Also, the theory is that it hit above North America. So Egypt would technically be on the other side of the planet.
Right.
So the water wouldn't have been so intense on that side of the planet. So that's like another thing, is like the flood wouldn't have been as intense.
That's such a perfect scenario, though.
We're trying to figure out what happened.
That's the ultimate, like, the chances of that being the one thing that withstood all of that.
Something had to. It's rock. That's all we got is rock.
I've seen rocks get destroyed all the time by crazy. I mean, like, what is really the confusing part to me is the timeline of all this shit. Is because, like, we still, in my opinion, do you know what it would take for us as a modern society to build a structure like that again?
Nobody does.
Like that's what I'm saying is, like,
we can't cut stones like that anymore.
Like, so you're either on the one side of, like, things were so far advanced, like even further technically advanced in certain ways than we are now as a society.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we had a technology that we don't have now.
Different technology.
They might have not. They probably didn't have batteries
or a level of knowledge,
engines. They probably didn't have guns.
Right.
You know, like. They
were still smarter than us to a degree to where they could figure that shit out.
I wouldn't say smarter. They just had a different branch of technology. If you found out a way to manipulate rock before you could find out a way to make a gun, like, your society is gonna be different.
So let me ask you this: do you know, because it seems like you've done a lot more diving into this type of shit than I have.
I've listened to it a lot.
Fair. Okay. Has it ever been stated what the pyramids, like, what's holding the rock together? Like, because obviously, like, say you lay a brick down, there
is no mortar. They're literally laid in
not
in
a
order.
chance.
There's no mortar.
I'm okay. Then if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to say that those pyramids came after, because no mortar and it's still just rock structure. You're gonna tell me that's the only thing, even underwater, because things underwater get fucking destroyed just as much as shit outside of water by an ocean, like, setting. There's no fucking way.
I mean, if you think about the shape of the pyramids.
Yeah, you're telling me the top has never been ripped off. Like, we've never lost a single one of those bricks.
There's only one that we found. The top of the top of the pyramids. There's only one that's still.
There's no way
today.
Because exactly, like.
And it's not on the pyramid either.
With the way
they have it in a museum somewhere.
Right, but with the way a structure is, it's obviously going to be less sound at the top where there's nothing holding it, right? You're going to tell me you haven't lost a second one through a great flood where waves are 2 miles big? That's like...
There were 2 miles in North America. This is all theoretical.
Sure, and no, I'm not saying, like, fuck you, Spencer, you're wrong.
If they were 2 miles over Washington State, where they ripped out the Scablands and shit, if that happened in Egypt, yeah, the pyramids would be gone, dude. But let's say it was just water.
Doesn't matter.
It was just water and sand. Like it's not gonna have as big of an impact as like a boulder tumbling through a landscape.
Have you ever seen a sandcastle? As soon as a wave comes in, it's fucking toast.
Well, it's not sand. Like the pyramids aren't made of sand.
Well, right, but like if it's underwater, like I feel like because the water could pick up heavy ass shit, right?
Yeah.
If that entire structure is submerged underwater.
So what if it was just a flood that went up and then down?
Then
if it wasn't a wave, it was just a flood. Like the waters rose fucking 400 feet and then went down 300 feet.
But water still erodes rocks.
Yeah.
They're still damaging.
There is erosion.
Well,
but if it got buried in sand.
If there's a fucking flood taller than the fucking pyramids, you're going to tell me that's the damage that did to it? There's nothing holding those rocks together besides the weight of it.
Dude, it's hard to say, man. It's really hard to say.
It's either that a human didn't make it, or it was after the flood.
It was definitely not after the flood. That's my opinion. Like I'm
only going off what you've told me. So
yeah, everything I've heard is that like the flood was cataclysmic everywhere, but in certain places it literally changed the landscape entirely to where it was like unrecognizable.
Right.
And then in like the Middle East, it didn't get hit as bad, but the water still rose 400 feet. That would destroy any civilization.
Right.
If the water rose 400 feet right now, California would be gone.
Sure.
Florida would be gone. Fucking Texas, half of Texas would be gone. Mexico would be gone. Like
I just can't imagine. I can't imagine a structure of any sort being strong enough to withstand a flood like that.
Okay, I'll tell you a different story. So the Sphinx, there's a theory that there is water erosion on the Sphinx from rainfall.
Okay.
The only way to get that amount of erosion through rainfall would be over like 1,000 years. The only time it's rained 1,000 years on Egypt, actually, it's never rained for 1,000 years in Egypt.
Right.
Never. It's like, how did it get that erosion? It would have to have been before it was a desert, which was before 10,000 years ago.
Right.
Like that's the only time it's ever rained on the Sphinx.
Does it snow there? Like
no.
like in the winter? No. What is it like?
Hell
there?
no.
Okay. I mean, I don't look up.
Hot. It's too close to the equator.
Weather stuff in Egypt. But I know like there are certain deserts that get fucking cold as shit.
Yeah, it's too close to the equator. That's another reason why they think it's so prosperous. Because during the Ice Age, that would have been a really lovely place to live.
I mean, this is me being like a super just like trying to look at both sides of the argument type of thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
I definitely see where you're coming from on this whole thing because like if you look at the bottom of like the human, like what humans have touched at the ocean floor, it's sand. It's like the bottom of most oceans are sand. So if you take away an ocean and now you have Egypt in a desert, that could have been the bottom of an ocean floor at one point.
Except it was higher elevation.
Well, but in a flood sense. Like when the Great Flood happened, it wiped out a fucking rainforest, quote unquote. Well, if it flooded that bad, it could have definitely turned that into...
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but I'm still going to go that the idea of humans making those pyramids is crazy to me.
Humans had to have had help. If they built them or had any part in them, like they had to have had help. Or there's some other technology we cannot even imagine, like molding rocks, literally turning them into a jello and molding them. Like there's no way.
But even then, but we go back to the timeline of how long it took them to make them.
Yeah, that's the only thing that could speed them up.
Not a chance.
That's the only thing that could speed it up is if they could mold those fucking rocks. Because placing hard ass rocks in a perfect fucking angle to make that pyramid, 2.2 million of them. Like, there's no way.
I don't know anybody that has a crane that's moving that shit.
No. Can't.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go home and just fucking get lost on the internet after this. Have you heard about the theory of, I think it's like room 33 of Disneyland?
Yeah, that's not like a.
It's not like a deep one, but like it's fucking ridiculous.
Like Club 32 or something like that.
Yeah, like
that's not I mean, there's probably like some crazy stories about it or something, but it's just like if you're rich, you can come here.
Right.
Like, that's all it is. It's just the
The
rich
stories
club.
behind it are fucking pretty ridiculous. I think I got fucking found like a creepypasta.
It's too famous now.
Yeah. Well, I found a creepypasta of some dude that apparently got lost in room 33, and I'm just like, dude, this is such bullshit. But there's some fucking crazy theories out there about like the elite, like rich fucking people.
Yeah, man.
All the Pizzagate shit, that shit's wild.
Goes back to my theory of like aliens that can look like humans.
Shapeshifters.
Yeah, shapeshifters or just biological drones that they've made in a vat somewhere that they just like kind of paste their consciousness into so that they can like pilot this bio robot and go like interact with the humans. Yeah.
Copy paste.
Who knows, man? Have you ever seen Altered Carbon on Netflix?
No.
Like, it's like a future dystopian kind of sci-fi, but everybody at birth, you have this like chip implanted in your spine that like copies your consciousness.
Okay.
So when you die, you can like transfer it to another body and like keep living. It's like a memory card of your consciousness.
If you had to pick somebody from our group of friends that you think like that's an alien.
Dude, nobody. Everyone I know is a fucking dumb human.
Ian.
Ian's
an alien.
That's a good argument.
He's too handsome. He's too talented. He's too smart.
Yeah.
That dude's an anomaly.
Ian's probably the closest to an alien.
Ian's an alien, dude. Yeah. Like he's too fucking good. Like, did you hear his fucking solo shit he's released?
Yeah.
Dude. Fuck him.
Yeah,
I gotta have him back on. Too talented, dude. You definitely gotta have Ian back on.
Gotta do the alien test.
Ian's the best boy. Fabio, you're probably also one too.
Fabio's not an alien.
You don't think so?
Nah. He's cool.
I love Fabio. Fabio's the shit.
Yeah.
All those boys are the best. Fucking. This beer's running through me, dude.
Yeah? You gotta pee again?
I think I gotta pee again.
That's fine. We can stop. Or we're back again. Once again.
Well, you know, a 12-pack of beer provides a lot of wiener dumping.
You're not wrong, man.
So, your toilet's getting worked today. I know we were talking about how the pyramids were not made by humans before. We could probably move off of a stoner topic for a couple seconds.
Well, the next episode is probably going to include some of that again.
That's fine.
I talk about this almost every episode, and I'm not ashamed. Dude, this shit blows my mind, and I'm honestly surprised that not, like, more people don't think about it, you know? More people should be thinking about this all the fucking time.
See, people think Joe Rogan's a fucking nut job. He is. But, like...
That's not why I listen to the show.
Right, but, I mean, I think he might be onto some shit that, you know... He shouldn't be on, but...
Well, he looks at facts.
The government's going to come after him.
That's hard to do because he has hundreds of millions of listeners. It's hard to do. Like, once you get so famous and so public, if you just disappear, like, that's going to be hard to cover up. Look how hard it was to cover up Epstein. Dude, that was rough. And he wasn't even a public figure.
They still did it.
Yeah, he wasn't a public figure. That's how they did it.
The government's gonna come after us.
Good luck.
Talk about this shit.
Oh man, no. I hope I'm that important someday.
Yeah, to where you influence the government to come after you for shit like that.
Yeah, I hope I get anonymous messages that are like, "Hey, stay off.
Quit doing that.
Stop talking about Egypt, or else."
Yeah, you've talked about the Great Flood too much. It's time to stop. You're cut off. All of our conspiracy theorists have a limit of this amount of times they can talk about the shit before it's too serious.
You better quit saying Bob Lazar. We're gonna visit you.
Right before you started rolling, we'll get off one stoner subject and get on another.
Yeah.
So before you started rolling, we were talking about gas stations and some of them are really terrible. Let's talk about good gas stations.
The good ones?
Buc-ee's. I experienced for the first time finally when we played Houston a couple months back.
Yeah? You saw Buc-ee's?
Bless that place and everything that they do.
Dude, that place is probably number one.
Easy.
It's probably
easily number one.
Yeah.
QT. Bless QT. I fuck with QT.
QT is good.
Good experience.
I'd call him number 3.
Who you put in a second?
Wawa.
Never been to one. I heard Sheets is sick, though.
Do you know Wawa?
Never been to one, no. I've heard of it.
It's just the East Coast QT, but they have, every one of them has a sandwich shop. I don't know about everyone, but most of them have a sandwich shop, like a Subway, just in the back, and like 24/7 open, and all the time. You can order Subway, any sandwich you want. Well,
is it better than Subway?
Yeah, it's better than Subway. Okay, cool. Like how, dude, come on.
Subway sucks.
How do you get worse than Subway?
Look,
you would literally have to make a sandwich on the fucking gas station floor for it to be worse than Subway.
Well, so there's actually a Subway by me that at one point was 24 hours. You could go in there at 2 a.m. and get you a fucking meatball. Like, I'm telling you, it was suspect as fuck.
Probably the safest thing to get because it was always hot.
Yeah. But I mean, like, somebody said to me that resonated with me way too hard. They were like, you can order 10 different things on the Subway menu and every sandwich tastes the same.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, that sandwich tastes like a fucking stupid Subway sandwich, and it's in not a good way. Not a good way. But before we get off the tangent, so QT's number 3, Wawa's over that.
Wawa has the best coffee for a gas station.
I heard Sheets is sick.
Sheets is okay because they have hot food, but
Buc-ee's is the fucking juggernaut of that, though.
Yeah. Sheets just has good food. Like, it just tastes good. I don't know. It's like shit. You know, it's like a Circle K, but with good food.
Brother, whenever somebody literally has a person, when Buc-ee's has a person cutting fresh pulled pork and brisket in front of you,
yeah, it's Texas.
Nothing touches that.
That's Texas.
I don't give a fuck where it's at. Like,
no, Buc-ee's is Texas. That's where it is.
What a yes, but what a blessing of a fucking place. And there's no 18-wheelers because, look, again, I'm in logistics. Yeah, I both love and hate truck drivers. My dad was a truck driver, so I have a reason and excuses to hate truck drivers because he told me the ins and outs. He's like, yeah, no, those motherfuckers are, usually lying. But Buc-ee's doesn't allow truck driver, like 18-wheelers. It's not a truck stop.
I'm sure they have truck stops.
Well,
they probably have certain ones that do allow them.
Buc-ee's is not a truck stop.
None of them are truck stops?
I mean, we could fact check it. But
does
I'm pretty
Buc-ee's have a truck stop? I gotta look that up because that would be dumb. Texas is so big.
No, dude, they have Flying J's and everything. They don't need to go to Buc-ee's.
Does Buc-ee's have a truck stop?
Because, like, you know how congested that shit would be if they allowed 18-wheelers?
Well, if they have a certain one in a good area. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
It's not a truck stop. That is a gas station.
18-wheelers are forbidden.
Yep. Real shit.
That's crazy.
Well, because think about it. Look how many gas pumps they have.
Well, that's not their market, I guess.
It's not. You have people going in there and buying fucking brisket tacos for breakfast. Like, that's a novelty shop. I went to Buc-ee's and got Buc-ee's merch. Buc-ee's merch is the shit,
like
dude.
Walmart should be more like Buc-ee's.
They could never compare.
They should aspire.
Well, because look, dude,
I can't get brisket tacos at Walmart.
I can get a fucking. You can, but they're gonna be dick. They're gonna taste like shit.
You have to microwave them first.
Fuck
like
that.
I want to get them hot and like ready,
dude. Look, I had a 3-meat smokehouse sandwich from that place. It had pulled pork, sausage, and brisket on the fucking sandwich, dude. This is at a gas station, dude. This is a gas station. Buc-ee's is the best. There's nothing that compares.
Yeah.
Nothing that compares.
I mean, somebody has to be number one, right?
It's Buc-ee's.
Somebody has to be on the top. It's probably Buc-ee's.
I went in there and spent way too much fucking money.
There might be a smaller, like, mom and pop shop that compares. But as far as, like, a big-ass gas station, like...
Yeah, no.
They're probably number one.
And you're never waiting in line for a pump.
Yeah.
The amount of pumps that place fucking has.
That's good.
I mean, so when AMAYA played in Houston for the first time a few months back, I think the whole band played in Buc-ee's merch. Like, I had a Buc-ee's Hawaiian shirt. Somebody else had a Buc-ee's Hawaiian shirt. There was a Buc-ee's bucket hat, I think. Like...
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Like, we stand by the Beaver, brother.
Nice. I wonder what Buc-ee's fans say about QT. Because there's QTs in Texas.
I have pleasant experience at QT's.
No, QT's not bad.
QT's are sick.
It's the best here in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, like you can go to a QT in the worst part of town, and it's still going to be a pretty okay experience.
It's like the same everywhere. That's what's cool about it.
The worst QT is better than the best Circle K.
Yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely.
Circle K has no training, I think. I think they just give you a uniform and tell you to go to work.
No, put this on record because like I've worked at Circle K.
What was the training like?
I think it was like all on a computer for a couple of days, and it was terrible. I mean, but here's the thing.
I worked at QT.
You can have as much training as you want because here's the problem. QTs oftentimes have like cops and shit there because it's a safe spot. Like if you go to QTs, they're building safe spots because
They also give cops free drinks.
They do. So you usually have a presence of like law enforcement. So usually less sketchy shit is naturally happening. Circle K, you could be working at a Circle K in Scottsdale and you're still getting crackhead Joe come in there trying to steal from you. Like it does not matter. Circle K is still gonna be Circle K no matter where it's at.
Yeah. So I went to a QT that was in North Scottsdale. It was kind of weird. It was like right on the edge of Phoenix and Scottsdale. And
there's a level of niceness to a QT.
It was a really strange place because it was it might have been like southern Scottsdale actually, like closer to like Tempe.
Right, okay.
Or something. I don't know, it was like South Scottsdale, but it was in a really weird QT, and this guy was literally just freebasing fucking something off a tinfoil, right? Like
in
leaning on the wall next to the outside of the door. Like leaning on the wall and just doing that, and his girlfriend was like walking around all frustrated, like asking for money or something. But he was literally just, and he like threw it down like there was nothing left. You know, I was like, holy shit, dude. Like this was outside of QT. Like, come on. Like I don't even do this crazy shit, and I know there's cops at QT all the time.
I mean,
like, you guys are fucking.
I've seen some fucking. I mean, between working at Circle K and shit like that, like I've seen some gnarly ass shit from people. Man. Like, it's really honestly a shame because like we were talking about again another situation we were talking about off camera was just like how gnarly the homeless situation is in this country. You have people that are resorting to literally shitting on fucking streets and shit like that because like they have no options for. Either that or they're so twacked out on drugs or
find a QT.
Or
the bathroom is literally open 24/7. That's why homeless people love QT too.
Hey, some people lost it though. But before we don't need to go into the politics of how crazy the government is in the homeless situation in this because go down.
I will.
I mean, we could.
I'll go into anything, dude.
But like, I mean,
I'll talk about religion.
You know what you should do on your podcast? Hey, I will not. I will not. I'll talk about politics well before I'll talk about religion.
Attila back on. Attila will talk religion with me.
He will. That is one person I truly believe that would. He
loves it. And I like to talk about the Bible with him. He knows a lot about
respectfully, he's a firm
he knows a lot
religious
about,
person.
Like, he knows a lot about like the parts that aren't in the Bible, you know, like where the Bible came from.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Like, I don't know. It's always an interesting conversation. But.
See, for me, it's like I know I can have a respectful conversation about that stuff.
Yeah.
But you can only be so respectful for somebody who has such different view. No, I'm not talking about Attila. I'm talking about in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I love Attila. Attila's a great fucking guy. You can be respectful as much as you want, but if somebody has such differing views, naturally, usually shit does not just turn into a civil conversation whenever you're on this page and this person on the other.
I think it comes down to like, you know, how tolerant are you? Like how, you know, are you gonna let like how much do you prioritize freedom? You know, are you gonna let people live the way they want? Or do you expect everyone to live in the way of your God?
That's a good point because there's extremes. Because I know people that, so I grew up in the South, which I grew up in not a religious home by any means, but like a Christian family. We're from the South. That's a thing. Their religion in the Bible Belt is a huge thing. There's extremes. And with me, I'm a big person that like, I believe extremes in anything is very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Anything. Like you can be extreme in anything and it could be unhealthy to a degree.
You have to be able to change your mind.
You can live your life and have whatever belief you want. But there becomes a certain level where I find it like very unhealthy very quickly.
No, I can believe that. Like, there's certain things that just don't seem like even the most efficient way to live as a human. You know,
Hey,
like there are certain traditions where it's like, why would I do that? Like, other than the fact that this story happened 1,000 years ago. Like, what's the point of doing this thing that doesn't benefit me physically, like biologically? Like, there are certain traditions that are just like, why? Like how Jews like won't use electricity on Saturdays because it's a Sabbath. They won't turn a light on, but you can leave a light on the day before, and if
right.
as long as you don't turn the switch off, it's okay. It's like what you're
What
still using it, like, but it's like
what led to that?
what does this tradition have to do with God?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, because
it's
it
just
could be
those
this,
extremes. That's what I'm getting to.
it
It's
could
like those
be said
extremes.
about
Sometimes they don't make sense.
it could be said the same thing about maybe some of the shit we do though. It's probably a very heavy extreme that like, oh shit, that person's gone to over 100 concerts this year. That's an extreme. So like to some people could view that as unhealthy too. So it's like we're all guilty of having a vice of some sort in that sense.
I wouldn't say it's unhealthy because
You
like,
wouldn't.
it just depends what you did at the shows. Like
Right.
the show, it's going somewhere and being at a place 100 times. That's not unhealthy. Like, what did you do at the show? Like,
But
you
somebody could
gotta
be like,
break it
why would you
down.
spend that much money doing this? Why would you spend that much
you're
time?
talking about financially.
But you,
Like, what do you?
everybody has a vice.
Yeah.
Everybody has a vice.
How many of those shows did you pay for, and how many did you just play at?
Well,
Half?
well over half
Well over half
that I paid for.
that you paid for.
Easily.
Okay.
Well, because if I've went to over 100 shows and between AMAYA and Rattlesnake, I've played less than 40.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not including buying fucking merch of those things. But like, what I'm meaning is like the way I look at like, oh, extremes and this and that, people could easily look at us in the same manner. So it's like everybody has their vice and everybody has their things. It's just how you decide to live your life, I guess. But like people that we're not going to the religion thing. We can't do it. We cannot do it. I refuse to do it.
I like how I got you to talk about it though.
Well, because like I'm one of the people that have seen both sides of it.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Bible Belt. Church is everywhere.
I think the reason I like to talk about it is because I grew up Catholic. Like
Okay.
my parents, and I don't know if this is too personal. Sorry, mom and dad, whatever. We're not that important. But so my mom was like really Catholic, and her family was super Catholic, and that's how me and my brother were like raised.
Okay.
Like religiously, like that. We went to church every Sunday until we were like 13.
Right.
So literally every week of our lives, we're like, oh, back to church. Go to church, and our dad is Mormon.
Okay.
Like, he got into the Navy and kind of like fell out of that. I think in high school he was kind of like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm gonna party.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be Mormon.
Right.
So it's like, that's understandable. Mormons are pretty, like, they have some crazy traditions that are not necessarily like progressive, I would say. But so he kind of fell out of that early on, and him and my mom literally met in high school at Cortez High School in Arizona. Like, I literally Arizona native for 2 generations now. Like, and so they got together, and my mom was still super Catholic.
Are they still together?
Until an adult, and she's they're still together.
That's impressive.
Yeah, like and it's like, I don't really like talking about my early life because I was so privileged, dude. Like, I had such a nice American, like Norman Rockwell kind of American childhood.
Here's what's shitty about that. It's okay. It's almost become like it's not okay that you didn't struggle. Like, because America, and respectfully, because my background wasn't like unprivileged by any means, but it was not like living a glamorous lifestyle or anything like that. But like, because there's so much tragedy in America and so much of that, like in the homelessness and like the fucking shit like that, when people talk about not fucking struggling, like, that was the whole thing about America. The living the American dream is that, right?
Yeah.
And so it sucks that somebody has to feel bad
I don't feel bad. It's just that like it's hard for me to relate in a way
Sure.
when somebody has this like an upbringing that's like has trauma involved or some sort of difficulty or struggling.
Right.
I can't relate, and it's hard for me to like I guess talk about my experiences when it's like, well, it wasn't really that hard. I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't feel bad. It's just like I didn't go through shit.
But
it's like in a hard for me to like.
In a general sense, though, it sucks because you see people that did start from the bottom. Like not even talking about your situation in any means. Blanket statement. You do have people that have literally like say who people that have come here like illegally, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That started from the ground up, built this crazy fucking life for themselves, and it's almost like certain people are still feeling ashamed that they're like doing good because of how much tragedy is in this country.
Yeah.
It's not just you. It's like,
well, it sucks because I'm not doing good.
Exactly. Like
I grew up in like a pretty good upbringing, and then now I'm
okay.
like everything is like shit.
It's okay for people who have to work hard for themselves, but you're right. Like there's people that have worked hard for themselves, are doing great for themselves, but are still struggling because of how bad things are. It's just like it's rough because like people should be okay to feel proud of themselves for working hard and being okay. But at the same time, like it's hard when there's so much.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot's up to chance, and you know, it's a lot is up to how much work you put into shit.
Right.
I feel like I probably need to put some more effort into some shit if I wanted to go anywhere, but
it's all good, man. It's all we're all humans, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking
get distracted on Netflix and fucking Minecraft. I don't if there was a way to find out how many hours I've put into Minecraft.
I bet you there is.
Dude.
Are you on a console or a PC?
Both. Different consoles.
Do you play Minecraft
PC,
on both console and PC?
Dude, I put hundreds of hours into every different system. Like, I
bet you on the PlayStation you could find out the hours.
It wasn't on PlayStation. It was on Xbox, which I don't really plug in anymore.
I mean, you probably don't want to find out the hours.
It's got to be hundreds on the Xbox. PC, I'm guessing probably near 1,000.
Holy shit.
On Switch,
a lot of hours.
Probably getting close to 1,000 again on Switch because like that's all I play on now. I've got a realm I've been playing on Switch. Fabio's on it.
Word, okay.
Yeah, Fabio's been building some shit on my realm.
So today we've talked about aliens for a second, the pyramids, the Great Flood. We've talked about
Rattlesnake Suitcase.
A little bit of Rattlesnake Suitcase
on 98 KUPD.
Yeah. That band, so...
On Pladio. You can look up that shit. It's probably on Facebook.
Actually, I think they do have the previous broadcasts on their website.
They record it.
Real quick, Rattlesnake Suitcase, been less than a year. I mean, this is just again, it's okay to be proud, you know? You could be stoked on shit you've done.
Talk yourself up, man.
That band, I'm so grateful and fucking stoked at how that band has come along. It's been less than a year, and this band's played Cardinal Stadium, and Marquee twice, and we don't have any release music.
You got connections? Does somebody know somebody? Is that what's going on?
I mean,
it's okay to say yes.
No, so it's not that. It's so what it is like Rattlesnake Suitcase is so for example, I'm the youngest person in that band.
Are you just trying to shoot your shot? Is that what it is?
Sending emails, you know?
Just shooting at anything.
What it is everybody in this band has been in other bands that's played in the scene for a while. So the drummer of Fatal Malady, the guitar player and the vocalist, the other guys, they were in Moons, Birds, and Monsters. Ben, our bass player, is in Fairy Bones. I play stupid metalcore and AMAYA.
Stupid metalcore
and AMAYA.
It happens to be like one of my favorite metalcore bands.
I
usually can't stand metalcore, but you guys do it in a way that like I fucking jam. I don't know.
So metalcore is.
I usually fucking.
The problem with metalcore, it's like most genres right now, is that it's a blanket genre. I can name 10 different metalcore bands, and I guarantee they all sound different.
Yeah,
like Trivium. Like, okay, do you like Trivium?
I've heard some Trivium songs I like.
That's technically a metalcore band, but if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, a lot of bands, in my opinion,
name a couple more. What are some other metalcore bands?
Well,
if it's a blanket genre. Give me some other metalcore bands that don't fit.
So you have bands like Body Snatcher. To a certain point, some people consider Body Snatcher a metalcore band.
Was it just because of clean vocals or something?
They don't have clean vocals.
Okay.
I think it's lyric content.
It's what?
I think it's lyrical content for them.
Lyrical content?
Yeah. They're really sad.
Okay.
Like, they talk about a lot of like sad shit.
I'm always trying to figure out what makes a genre.
Well, so that's I think that's subjective.
Yeah, of course it is, but like I like to hone in my.
So people consider like accuracy. So you have a band like Alpha Wolf. Alpha Wolf is considered metalcore.
Okay,
that's more like low tempo, like more breakdowny metalcore.
Yeah, but probably also, more easy to listen to, digestible, like what you were saying before.
Not necessarily. That's actually, to the average listener, I would say it's less digestible because it's all really heavy compared to the other stuff. Because you have like All That Remains, who in my opinion is a very Swedish influenced metalcore band.
That was like my first metalcore band I listened to, was All That Remains.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but if you put All That Remains next to Killswitch Engage, next to Bring Me the Horizon, these are all three completely different sounding bands. So it's like, when it comes to not even just metalcore, it's deathcore, it's death metal, it's everything, like hardcore. In my opinion, a lot of what categorizes a band is what era, location, and like certain things I think categorize like that. Let's take grunge, for example. Nirvana doesn't sound like Alice in Chains. They're both grunge bands, but why? Because they were in the 90s and they wore flannels?
They have the same tempo.
Okay, so I can name fucking 3 death metal bands that have the same tempo.
They probably have a lot of the same like note structures, like as far as like music theory goes.
I think what it is,
a lot of their stuff is probably on the same sorts of scales.
I think in my opinion, what it might be is that they were from the same time frame, in the same Pacific Northwest area.
They give me the same feeling.
Sure.
That might be it.
Okay. But then let's take the big four of thrash. Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer. None of those bands sound the same.
They give me the same feeling. I'm like, yeah.
The same feeling. I mean,
that could be the genre. Like, what are genres other than trying to relate your music to people?
I don't think Raining Blood gives me the same feeling as Indians by Anthrax. It's definitely way different. Because then we could keep talking about.
But I mean, like, Enter Sandman doesn't give me the same feeling as like fucking Kill 'Em All. You know, you can pick the same band and pick 2 different songs.
Okay, but then we can also bring AC/DC into this argument.
Yeah, sure, but they're more like on the lines of fucking like.
They've never sold out. AC/DC has never sold out. They've sounded the same since the day they started. They have not changed their sound for anybody. They have not done anything different for anything to be popular, to stay relevant.
They got a new singer and sounded the same.
It sounds exactly like AC/DC.
They found a singer that sounds the same.
I'm saying, bro.
That's always blown my mind. Yeah. It's like they found a second singer that can do that.
Like,
how many people can do that?
Iron Maiden as well.
They changed a little bit. I mean,
but not to the degree of staying relevant.
Who else can sound like Bruce Dickinson? Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
But they didn't change their sound to stay relevant.
No.
Which is...
I mean, they changed their sound for themselves, and it definitely changed.
Right. That's one thing.
It wasn't for like...
But like, think about when Metallica went like rock during the 90s. That's changing to stay relevant in people's eyes, right?
Yeah, that's Black Album.
That's selling out to some people. But...
The Black Album was when the downfall happened, in my opinion.
Look, the Black Album set the standard and the bar for the production quality.
Unfortunately.
One of the best sounding albums of all time.
Yeah, it sucks that it is.
It sounds amazing.
I am so horrified that it does sound so amazing.
Because let's put it this way.
But now that I know like what I know, I'm like, dude, Metallica should have stayed hard as fuck. But like they went in a direction that was like, you know, more digestible. Well, to bring that word back up, sure.
I'll give you an example though.
It's like,
say if Justice had the production quality that the Black Album did, Justice would be unquestionably the biggest and best metal album to ever exist.
I've heard remasters of Justice, and it sounds night and day.
If that album had the Black Album quality, it would be in the question of, it's already in the question, but it would be undoubtedly one of the best albums metal wise to ever do it.
Anyone listening right now, if you like Metallica, go look up a remaster of Injustice for All.
Where there's actually bass. It actually has bass.
The bass is just way better and it sounds different.
I do want to touch on this before we change subjects though, is we were talking about like time, location, and place for a band really influences what they're categorized as. In my opinion, again, Alice in Chains is a metal band. They just happen to be from the 90s in that era and that time.
It's like grunge metal.
Yeah, but I think if you Google it right now, it'll show metal before it says grunge on their genre.
I mean, sure.
But, okay, so here's an argument.
They're all definitions, right? They're all man-made definitions.
Here's an argument. Put Alice in Chains 10 years after in the 2000s. They're not a grunge band anymore.
I guess so, yeah. It's hard to, definitions change.
Because there's also there's a wave of music coming out of like the Bay Area in California right now, like hardcore scene.
Yeah.
You have like Drain and Tsunami and like I don't think Prowl's from up there. I think they're from way more up north. But there's some hardcore bands coming out of the Bay Area, and it's like this whole scene that's blowing up. All those bands, like Drain is like a fucking thrash crossover band, while Tsunami is like just straight, I guess, like just ignorant hardcore. Like it's just fucking like fuck cops, fuck pigs, like all cops must die, punk, like hardcore shit. I think it's another example. Hey, I mean, I think it's another example of like, they're all from the Bay Area. They're all hardcore kids, but because of those factors, they're all hardcore bands. But I don't think, I think those factors change because same thing, Texas is putting out death metal. You have a lot of crossover stuff where hardcore is being influenced too. And so I think it's time, place, and location for a lot of factors what people get categorized as sometimes.
Yeah. I just think genres are just... they've become less accurate. You know what I mean? They're just getting less and less accurate. People are constantly trying to stand out and do unique things and different things. And, it makes sense, though. Maybe we just need to make different words for it.
Because that's why, like what you said, it's also experimental and it's also everybody's trying to do something new.
Yeah, everyone's trying to do something different than everyone else.
Or either that or they're reinventing the wheel. But like Rattlesnake, we're just taking shit and ripping other bands off. It's sick. But oh yeah, we rip Guns N' Roses off all the time. It's badass.
I mean, technically, I'm doing that with this podcast. Hey, I'm just ripping off Joe Rogan.
It happens. No, like that's like, for example, I'll use metalcore just right now as the topic, but like when somebody comes to me and it's like, usually I hate metalcore, and then I'm like, okay, well, if there's this exception, then somebody probably has no idea how large that realm really fucking is.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I could name 10 fucking metalcore bands and like none of them are going to sound the same. And so it's like when somebody takes an entire genre of music, I fucking hate blank. It's always so interesting to me because there's so much after that.
Yeah. Like the black metal thing earlier in the episode, that was a joke. I was just kidding. I like Swords of Ithaca. I like Opeth. There's black metal bands I like,
I'm gonna go real quick.
Yeah, I'm just super picky.
Well,
all right, we're back.
Sorry guys, the fluids are running through. I don't know if the camera catches, but there's like a whole graveyard of cans over here.
It doesn't, thankfully.
Unfortunately, we've been working hard. Progress needs to be seen. But no, I think we were talking about just blanket genres because what's funny to me, at least for my personal experience with all this shit, is for one, as I told you earlier, like, or maybe I didn't actually tell you this earlier, but like, a lot of people assume because I'm in AMAYA that I'm a metalcore kid, or like I listen to, I grew up listening to that type of music, or that's my favorite type of music. People have thought that before. Whereas like a lot of my close friends know that like the 80s shit is actually what I grew up on and what I actually play. And so I've experienced this interesting, like, because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. I've told you guys this, like I will listen to anything if it makes me move my head. That includes Adele. That includes Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I listen to anything. So whenever people are like, oh, you playing a metalcore band? I don't give a fuck. Like that shit's so weird to me that people even have those feelings about shit like that. But I'm also not biased. I play in AMAYA, and it's opened doorways to like shit that I do currently listen to now, and it's definitely influenced me as a guitar player now. But like, all of it's a blanket. Like people that are just so set in their, and I'm not even just like you. I know you said the metalcore thing. You're usually not a metalcore person, but like, there are people that are so set in their ways that they refuse to even like accept that there are things that they'd be okay with in that shit.
Well, I mean, most metalcore doesn't fall into what I like, but
That's
there
fair.
are some bands I like that are considered metalcore, like All That Remains, and it's just because like I like really heavy, like fast. If it's fast and it's heavy and it's melodic, like those are the three things I look for. If it has all three of those, I fucking love it.
Sure.
So, dude, any band I fucking jam out to live, like that I'll jump in the pit. Like if it's fast and it's heavy and it's melodic.
All That Remains is a good one for that. Yeah,
All That Remains, AMAYA, you guys are fast as fuck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Arcanaut, when they were around, like they were super fucking fast and melodic and heavy. Like Steven as a vocalist was melodic in his vocals, still fucking screaming. Like the way he did that was like fucking nuts. You know, so like anything that fits those three criteria for me is just great.
It's always been so interesting to me because like I see when I first started playing, again, I was in like a more 80s influenced like band. So you see like a certain style of crowd. And then whenever I started playing with AMAYA and like this side of the scene, it's a much different type of crowd. But like it's always been so interesting to me how people are so, I don't want to say closed-minded sounds harsh, but some people are really closed-minded. A lot of these genres stem from the genres that most of these people like to begin with. Like metalcore comes from thrash metal and like Swedish melodic metal and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's why like All That Remains sounds the way it does and shit like that. Because what was happening right before that wave happened. But that all being said, like I've experienced, if anybody's ever gonna give like, for example, if somebody's like, oh, metalcore's stupid, bro, you should roast me way further for the shit I actually fucking listen to and play. Like I listen to Motley Crue and fucking Rat and Poison. Like, dude, if you think metalcore's bad, roast me for the real shit that I actually listen to and play, dude. Like, I promise, metalcore is not that bad.
Honestly, like, I've been listening to a lot of EDM lately.
Hey,
like a lot of fucking
fuck it,
French core.
But people are like, Rattlesnake is fucking like. It's so interesting how like, there's people who are like, oh, metalcore's stupid, so like they won't give certain things the time of day. I literally like get half naked at almost every Rattlesnake show, and people are like, Rattlesnake is so sick, Rattlesnake's so fucking cool, and it's just like it's so interesting to me that experience I've had with just digestible genres of music.
Dude, I mean, people like all sorts of shit, you know? Like it's good to have a well-rounded like entertainment, you know? So
but at the end of the day, sorry to cut you off. No, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. I'm playing what's fun. I'm playing what's having a good time. There's been people that haven't been a fan of everything. That's cool. It's totally cool. But, as long as you're doing what you're doing because you're having a good time, who gives a fuck?
No, seriously, man. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself with the music.
Yeah, dude.
Thing.
Like,
I'm glad that's like it seems like that's something that you really want to do.
Here's my criteria. You want to hang out and play a show? Don't be a piece of shit and have sick riffs. That's like my criteria for a band I'll play. I'll play like I will play a show with anybody. Like I don't give a fuck what genre it is. Shows. Like dude, our house shows.
Shows are where it's at,
dude.
That gives you the most. I feel like those are more valuable than people think they are. Those are way more valuable.
Playing house shows. They are some of the most fun times.
You'll get a fan for life from a house show.
One of the fucking house shows we did at Tim and Justin's was literally Day Tripper, AMAYA.
Yeah, I talk about that one on this podcast all the time. I talk about that show all the time. It was so great.
That's a doom band, a metalcore band, and a fucking like...
Dude, there's still a video I have to post about that show.
I think Born of Ash also played that show too.
Yeah.
So it was like you have a Dark Souls themed death metal band, a metalcore band, and a doom band in a house. Like, there's no excuse.
It was dope.
Yeah, dude. Have a good time. Play what you want to fucking play and don't be a piece of shit. That's literally what the criteria for me is. I'll rip a show with anybody, dude.
That sounds like a dope fucking criteria.
I'll rip a show with anybody, dude. Anybody. You're a piece of shit. I probably won't hang out with you. That's not even playing a show. I probably won't even talk to you.
It's not hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's usually not hard to tell if someone's a piece of shit.
So. All right. I think I have a recommendation for a last topic for this before we.
Last topic. What's up?
Let's go into just the scene in general. Let's just talk about the scene.
We'll talk about it a little bit.
We've already
going soon, but
we've loosened up a little bit, I think, at this point. Let's talk about our top favorites of things. Let's talk about like who we love. Let's shout some people out. Let's fucking give the homies some clout, you know?
Some shout outs.
First, let's get a controversial one going.
What's controversial?
So lately I've been talking with the homies, getting together because like we had like had my first Friendsgiving for the first time ever recently. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a great time. One of the topics that got brought up was like, what are your top 3 favorite venues in Arizona and what are your bottom 3? And it's a pretty hot topic because everybody has such certain experiences at certain venues. Like mine, I frequent a lot of the same places, so mine are pretty biased. Because I mean, a lot of the shows I go to are at the same places. But I know I have a top 3 and a bottom 3 for sure.
Well, I don't think I'm that well experienced enough to answer that. Like honestly, like
I mean, you have to have like, I mean, there's.
I'm just been getting back into like the scene. So
okay.
So my responses are going to be a little like, I don't know, maybe I just don't see it as like, you know, I guess where is the easiest place to drink parking lot beers? That's that's going to be my rating.
Definitely not the Marquee. I mean? Marquee is not that. Club Red was not that.
Club Red, no. And then there's another one where I kind of feel a little weird drinking parking lot beers. Is it
Is it Pub Rock?
Yeah, Pub Rock.
Yeah.
Feels a little weird because I'm like out right next to a major intersection. Like the Nile's cool.
It's just an alley.
Yeah.
Behind a taco shop.
You could just sit in the dark ass parking lot, the street, the parking lot lights out.
So I guess for me, that is a good point because for me, my experiences are both playing at these places.
Yeah, and you have to deal with the actual staff or fans or like loading in and out.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's a lot of criteria.
I would rather hear your experience as a band on that. Like, which ones are best?
Okay, so I can give you insight as a consumer and as a band person.
As a band, let's go with band because we're short on time.
All right, band person. When it comes to band, I'm going to give the Nile Theater my number one utmost everything on every criteria we have.
The Nile's great.
The staff is some of my favorite people on this earth. The stage is big, sounds great, depending on who you ask. They did a lot of recent upgrades that fucking upped that shit a lot even more. They did an upgrade in the upstairs, and apparently they put the old PA in the underground now, and the old PA underground is fucking ripping now.
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting down there now, yeah.
When did they do that?
This was pretty recently, like in the last, this year, I'm pretty sure, easily.
Year?
Yeah. It also became a historic...
I wish I knew the sound guys at the Nile. I need to get them on here, dude. I'd love to talk to them.
There's the
guys who run the audio at the Nile.
There's a guy named Jason. He was in a band called Orenda.
Who's running the sound? Is it him as the head, Jason? Is
Jason
that the
does
guy I need to look for?
Jason does a lot of the upstairs stuff. Yeah.
So I need to look for Jason.
So for sound guys, to get on here.
Yeah, dude. Who's the guy I need to have on here from the Nile?
For the Nile, I'd get Jason.
Jason, okay.
But if you can get like one of their security guards on here, like if you can get fucking Raleigh on here, that dude has stories for.
Tell him I want him on here. Like,
also,
if it's coming from somebody else, they'll be more inclined to. If I just cold message him, they'll be like, "Who the fuck is this?"
He's a grumpy fucker, but I love him. But Jeffrey from Club Red.
I can talk with grumpy people. I don't care.
Well, Jeffrey from Club Red and now does Pub Rock. Jeffrey's been around for a while, and he's seen some good and dumb shit. He'll have some stories for you, I feel.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, so band, what venues I really love. Honestly,
Nile.
So the Marquee, I like playing at. I hate going to the Marquee as a consumer, but I love playing the Marquee. because the Marquee is an actual venue with stagehands and like multiple sound and lighting guys, and like you have like you walk in there and the people start grabbing your shit and moving it and like placing it and like helping you out.
They
and shit
ask
like
you where it wants.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
want it to be.
And there's
like
the green rooms. Like we just played a local showcase there, and like we had a green room where we fucking brought our beer in there and just fucking partied in there for hours. And the Marquee playing experience is a great fucking time, but going there I hate it. And then as a band, I'm probably gonna have to go Pub Rock recently. They just upgraded their entire sound and lighting system, and that place is a fucking monster now.
Yeah.
Security, I get along with everybody there. It's a good time.
Last time I went there, it was great.
Yeah. We've been partying there. We've been what show was it?
I probably went there after. I couldn't tell you what show it was. It was probably after the upgrades though, because it was fucking phenomenal.
It's
dude.
loud,
It was
and that motherfucker.
dope.
Yeah,
it was a great time. So if they did upgrades after that, I'd be surprised. Like I probably went after the upgrades.
Okay, word.
But it was a good experience. Like Pub Rock is great. Like the parking lot's kind of weird for drinking beers.
Sure,
but you know that's not legal
for a bar that has a stage.
I don't advocate that, but I have fun doing it.
Sure, yeah, no, dude, we are parking lot beer drinkers. Yeah, we do not like paying $9 for a lukewarm PBR. That's not a secret. Everybody knows this.
Yeah, dude.
All right, I think the last thing we should do here, let's shout out some bands. Let's give some fucking clout who I think killing it.
I will shout out AMAYA and Rattlesnake Suitcase
just so
Dakota doesn't feel uncomfortable. I think those bands are doing fucking great, and they have the last year they've been doing fucking amazing.
Thank you, dude.
It's pretty crazy to see the growth.
I was absolutely not going to shout us out, so I appreciate that. I
had to do it.
Humbly, it's been so much work, but it's been the most incredible time, dude. Like, AMAYA has opened for some of my favorite fucking artists. Like last year we opened for Cattle Decap and Rivers of Nile.
Hell yeah.
Like that was it's just bucket list shit after bucket list. So like modestly, it's been an incredible journey. It's a lot of work, but it's been very fun, and I'm really stoked to hear that somebody's fucking
fuck yeah, dude. I'm paying attention.
I appreciate
attention,
that.
Dude. I see all your posts. Maybe I don't react on all of them, but I see them and I try to react when I can. Like,
appreciate that.
Sometimes I just fucking work.
To be honest, quick little plug then. Rattlesnake Suitcase does have our debut EP that's going to come out around the beginning of the brand new year. We're about to film a music video for this next weekend.
Yeah.
AMAYA is about to release we're recording right now 2 separate singles. One's a cover, hint, hint. We're filming videos for those. We're going into hibernation, and we actually have I won't go into full details of this because it's in the works right now, but we are coming back after hibernation with some out-of-state stuff. And so we're stoked on that.
Can you give us a timeline?
We're looking at April, because we'll
leave it at that.
Yeah, we're looking to record.
Any other bands you want to shout out?
So actually, we're trying to get our homies in Alliance to fucking dap up with us and hit a run with us. You know,
I was gonna say Alliance.
We would love.
I saw those dudes live, and I had Scotty and Isaiah on.
Great band, dude. They fucking shred.
They're great.
They're putting in so much work, and they deserve everything. After hibernation, we definitely want to come out and hit new markets. We're going to have new videos. We want to go and record some new tunes, get merch rolling out and stuff like that ready for the new year. A lot less local shows for AMAYA for sure. As for anybody I want to shout out that I think is absolutely fucking crushing, and I want to give shout outs to Alliance. They are one of the hardest working bands I think I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Like, they do not stop.
They live 3 hours from anywhere.
And they are on time. They crush it every fucking time.
They live out on the res, dude.
Yep.
Way
honestly,
out there.
I'm in a general census right now. I want to give a shout out to every fucking res band out there right now. Yeah. Because, dude,
holy shit.
They're putting in so much work, and there's so many bands from the reservation.
There's a lot of native bands that sound really
good. So fucking good. There's so much fucking incredible music coming from all sorts of parts of Arizona, and I love it. Alliance, the Heavy Brothers and 6 Million Dead, also another
6
fucking
Million Dead?
indigenous band. Yes, absolutely. They play heavy as fuck. They're fast as fuck. They just opened for Suffocation at the Rebel Lounge. They obliterate.
I'll look them up.
Absolutely. The Homeboys and Saint Breaker, you cannot deny that Saint Breaker is absolutely one of the bands that's
I'm going to see them on the 8th.
Obliterating
I'm going to the
scene.
Saint Breaker show.
As you should.
I will.
In the hardcore scene, Skin Ticket. Skin Ticket is fucking putting it out there. I think they did a fucking...
They did a house show the other day.
Actually, so it got moved to the Nile Coffee Shop.
Yeah, it was
the
a
Nile Coffee Shop.
Nile Coffee Shop, yeah.
So we have Alliance. We have who else is out there just absolutely obliterating everything? The Ephemeral. Holy fuck, dude. Those boys are on fire right now. Killed by a Yeti. One of the most fun bands to fucking hang out, party with, and watch. They fucking just get better every time.
I had Dipper on.
Sweetheart, such a sweetheart.
Like, yeah, he's fun to talk to.
My boys in Wrath Upon Eden, sweethearts, absolutely crush it. Day Tripper, if you have not seen Day Tripper, you absolutely need to.
I'm gonna get Eric's brother on, Mark.
Okay, word.
I'm gonna get him on soon.
Born of Ash is crushing. They sound so good, dude. Shores of Ithaca, that's like a super group of fucking so many good fucking musicians.
Of super talented dudes.
Yeah,
in that
dude.
band.
That band is a juggernaut. We've unfortunately fucking lost a couple of juggernaut bands. Just, everybody kind of doing their life stuff, having families.
They'll come back up. They'll figure something out.
We miss our boys in
I'm sure they'll surface with some other shit.
Exiled Martyr. Exiled Martyr's fucking...
Oh, yeah. I've been wanting to hit those dudes up and see if someone wants to come on.
December 15th. Come out to that show. That's Shores of Ithaca.
15th?
That's Exiled Martyr, AMAYA, Shores of Ithaca.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's going to be a sick fucking show.
Sounds really good.
Exiled Martyr is...
Where at?
Pub Rock.
Pub Rock?
Pub Rock.
Okay.
Emerald Isle. I heard some insider stuff that Emerald Isle might have some cool stuff cooking up. So that's pretty sick.
Okay.
And a couple other fucking homies that are starting up other projects. And
I like there's a guy, Ruben, who's making this thing called Demon Ship.
Okay.
It's like literally his self-production.
Word.
But it sounds really good.
Okay.
Yeah, Demon Ship. Look that up.
Let's talk about let's plug some of the fucking content creators out here. We have Things Beyond Sound. Fucking out here getting all the fucking...
Oh, yeah. I actually have an episode scheduled for next weekend.
Okay.
Someone from the Basement Dweller.
Sick. Oh,
podcast.
Is it Jacob?
Yeah.
Sweetheart. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm getting Jacob on.
I need to get on his pod.
Yeah.
So he gave me his business card.
Right where you are.
Word.
Doing a podcast.
So Jacob, if you listen to this, I have your business card. We need to make a podcast as well because he hit me up as well.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Hell yeah.
No, like I want to shout out all the content creators because behind the scenes, you're putting all these fucking local bands on the map in a different way. Like you're getting bands on here to talk about aliens and fucking gas stations, dude.
Well, I don't want to talk about the band more than I want to just talk about the person. You
know,
like,
sure.
Like who makes up these bands? Like these dudes play like crazy fucking heavy ass metal on stage, and like it sounds crazy, like inhuman, sound. It sounds so crazy, and like who are the guys playing it? What do they talk about? What do they like? Like what gets their fucking mind going?
Well, we have people that are great like you that are putting a different perspective.
You think I'm great? That's so nice.
Dude, look, first off, I will be completely blunt here because I feel like at this point we've hung out enough to where I think, we're on that type of level. I'm not the type of person that would surround myself and go around something I really don't want to be around. I promise.
Right.
We see each other on a regular basis. As soon as you hit me up, I was like, we definitely got to make another fucking episode because it's like so much has changed and we've gotten to know each other a lot more. So it's like, I promise I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. So no, don't even worry about shit like that. So I do think that what you're doing is great because not only are you touching on local bands that deserve more recognition, you should get some of the dudes from Skin Ticket, by the way. If you can get Skin Ticket on here,
I'll hit them up.
That would
do it.
That would be sick as fuck because they are popping off right now. But like, not only are you focusing on local bands that deserve more recognition, you're talking to people that are behind the scenes. You're talking to people that have personalities that are just hype, like Captain Sarcasmo, I think his name is.
Yeah, Captain Sarcasmo, dude.
Somebody like that is more important than people really fucking realize. We need all that shit, and I love it. And we also have the people that make us look good. All of our photographer homies. John Hasselmeyer, you're out there. We love him.
Yeah, I've been wanting to hit him up for an episode.
Have him on here.
There's an endless list of people I need to fucking
if you can get Ruben on here, fucking fantastic.
He has an episode?
Ruben from Scylla?
No, the other Ruben. I was talking about from Demon Ship.
Oh, no, Ruben the photographer, Ruben.
No, I need to get him too.
Get him on here.
He's another guy.
Jacob Eldridge.
I saw Scylla and I was like, dude, this is fucking nuts.
They rip. He's a great fucking guitar player. Oh my god, dude. Jacob Eldridge, he's a dad. He's the vocalist of a band. He's a fucking photographer and video guy. Like
Jacob Eldridge is another guy.
He'll have some stories for me because he hits the road as a musician and he fucking does media. So it's like he'll see that shit too. Mm-hmm. Promoters, 13th Floor. She's phenomenal.
Want to get Kim on.
She's a busy woman. She's a very busy woman. So if you can, she'll have some shit to tell you. I guarantee.
One day, that's all.
I guarantee the stories that woman probably has would probably blow some minds, dude. She's been around. She's worked with a lot of people.
That'd be really fun.
She is an incredible person, and we love Kim so much. Yeah, dude. Overall, I just want to shout out all the people that make us look good, sound good, and fucking.
There's plenty more.
Yeah, and, I'm missing so many of the any homies bands that I forgot. I apologize, but after over 100 shows and meeting so many incredible people, I will say this: Arizona's local scene is absolutely on top. Anybody that says otherwise is wrong.
They just don't know.
After going after going and seeing other communities and other scenes, exploring and going on the road, what we have in Arizona is absolutely fucking incredible. We have people moshing for the openers at fucking 4 p.m. You have people at 120-degree weather going to outside fucking shows, moshing the entire time. You have bands that support each other. Like, look at the only way I can use this as an example is because we lived through it. Our group of friends. You can go to any band, so all of our friends play in bands. Go to any one of their shows and see how many of us are there. Doesn't matter who's playing.
Yeah, that's true.
We're always supporting each other no matter what. Drinking beers in the parking lot because we're not paying that fucking price. But I want to say that what Arizona is doing right now is incredible. And we have some of the most insanely talented fucking powerhouse of bands out here. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people like, oh, the scene sucks. No, it doesn't. I don't know.
Who says that? I've never heard anyone say that.
There's some grumpy older fuckers that like try to act like the scene isn't what it used to be, and it's like
I've never heard of that. So it probably is.
People just like to bitch. People like to bitch, but I don't know
about something else.
Look, I don't know what scene those people are part of, but what I'm witnessing is one of the
scene is crazy.
I'm witnessing one of the coolest, most supportive, and sickest thing ever. Like.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's growing. And it's really cool to see. It's like the venues aren't even big enough to compensate for how fast it's growing either.
No.
The venues are constantly too full.
We have shows every night of the week.
Dude, we need to figure out something where there's a warehouse we can play at. Because there's a lot of fucking people who want to see these shows. I don't know, man. These venues are too small.
Well, overall, Arizona's on top.
Yeah, man.
And Arizona's crushing it in so many fucking ways.
It's true.
That's how we're going to end it. Keep killing it. All the bands are fucking doing great things and keep fucking hustling.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was good to have you on.
Thanks for having me, buddy.